Dooby dooby doo. Dooby dooby doo. Dooby dooby doo. Dooby dooby doo. Dooby doo. Dooby 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 dooby doo.
Oh my gosh, boys. Let me know if the audio is good. We got to make sure everything's running right today. Because this is it. This is it. I'm just letting everyone know that this is it. Okay. I'm very surprised this happened. But I am very, very thankful to Sydney Watson for being a straight up genuine person. Because this is it. This is the Jer-apocalypse tonight. I don't even know what else to say. So, before we get into this, guys, I can't see a realm where I don't get hit for this, like struck. Because I'm sure Jeremy has seen this by now, and he's literally shitting his pants. Because he knows. He 100% knows what's about to happen. So, if it just goes down, remember the kick is back up. The backup kick is live right now as well. Whew. All right, let's do this. Let's get this out of the way. Let's get this out of the way, guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the B's on Kick. I love you. I appreciate you. All the kicks, all the subs. Barring anything crazy, I probably won't be interrupting the show too much. So I just want to let you guys know that we got to get through the info. It's a lot. Oh, by the way, everything you've thought, everything you heard, every rumor that you think you may know, it's all true. All of it. Whew. All right. Oh my God. I just can't believe this. All right. So let's have a good time, boys. Hey, we're here for fun, right? We're here for fun. And we're here to get to the truth and get to the bottom of shit. So let's do that. I thank everybody. I will read your super chats. Don't worry. I'm not going to skip them. I know a lot of people are like, why are you not reading it right now? Look, we're going to be going through some tough stuff tonight. So I'm going to have to get through a lot of it. Barring any huge drops, I'll get through it. And thank you, everybody. I know you guys are subbing on Kick. I love you. And don't forget, you guys have Keno Casino right after this. So I'm not trying to interrupt the show because I like my boys. And I know Yellow Flash will be doing one. And there's another person. Man, there's too much. God, this is insane. There's something else that's going to come out tonight. You'll see it. I mean, I don't even need to say it. You'll see it. But yeah, let's just say there was a phone call between Jeremy and somebody else, and that somebody else is leaking it all tonight too. Or well, they told me they will. I don't know. They might not. I guess we'll find out, right? So, anyways, let's just jump right in, boys. I think here's what the issue is, guys. Okay, I think that everyone's tired of Jeremy's shit. Jeremy has lied to everyone. Jeremy has pretended he's a nice guy. He's used his nice guy status to manipulate and destroy the lives of everyone around him. Whether it be financially, whether it be professionally, whether it be sexually. It's all of the bases are covered. All of them are covered. It's maximum felting night. This night is going to reverberate forever. Welcome, Jeremy, to your Jarbo moment. I hope you're picking up boulders and not watching this shit. Okay? I really hope you're not watching this. Jeremy, do me a favor. Turn it off, brother. Find your nearest boulder, brother. Oh, all right. Let's jump into this. I talked to Sydney Watson today. Let me just get the context down, right? So I talked to Sydney Watson today, and if you guys are just joining, a month ago, TheQuartering was getting called a cuck online. He was just getting made fun of like we all do. And he decided that that was too far, and he flagged down the Keno Casino clip channel. It was removed from the internet. It was removed. It's still gone. Okay, this caused the Streisand effect where everybody started talking about this. Now, once they started talking about this, everyone started getting struck. I got struck, Rant Man, Luther Morgan, Alyssa Clips. I mean, the list goes on and on. I know I'm missing some people, but, I think Flash did too. I don't want to miss anybody, but everybody started getting hit. So everyone's talking about it because it's the Streisand effect. A lot of people online like to pretend like they don't understand why everybody's talking about this, and they're not interested, except they can't stop fucking tweeting about it every 2 seconds. I hate it. Okay, well, apparently not, because this is your 67th tweet about it today. But at any rate, he started striking people personally. And once I got struck, I said, you know what? If my channel is going to get deleted anyway, I'm just going to go as hard as fuck. And I'm going to use my old style GameStop journalism bullshit I used to jump into really heavy. And I'm just going to start using it right now against Jeremy. So here we are. So I talked to Sydney Watson today. Sydney Watson said she would come on my show, or let me not put words in my mouth. She said, let me think about it. She's leaning towards coming on my show. And I was very surprised. And then she said, hey, look, I don't want to do this in person. I don't know if I'm up to it, which is reasonable. That was me yesterday with Chrissy's show. I was like, I don't think I can do this because I know how it's going to play out. She's like, can I write you a giant statement like in DMs? And you show that on stream or in your video. And I was like, that works. So this is a very, very, very long deal, and it's going to cover every single base that you can possibly imagine. No rock left unturned. And we're gonna reveal it all here to you. So let's have a good ass time doing it. And let's let the maximum felting begin. Okay. The 250 grand, yeah, it was bullshit. The 3 a.m. drunk calls, that wasn't. You probably don't know about that yet. So let's get into it. Let me take a swig. Thank you guys so much. If you're not subbed on Kick, make sure you do, just in case we get struck over here, because the audience is growing. Thank you, everybody that's shooting the corgis, the fucking corgis. Everybody that's donating super chats, I'm going to get to them. I promise you. This is really, really important. So let's have a fun time. Get on it, doggone it. All right. Let me do something real quick. I told Sydney I would shoot her a message. Hold on. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yes, it is Nina, by the way. It is Nina. Nina, if you're watching, yes, it is. I saw your DM. Okay. I told Sydney I would shoot her a message about something, and I did. So let's go ahead and start the show. Thank you, Billy. I see your pink boy. I will read all those. So I talked to Sydney, and we have a long we have a long statement, guys. So let's jump into it. And I only need to redact one thing, roughly. I'll proofread as I go, because this all just happened within the last hour. Okay. So we're gonna redact that just so I have my stuff. Oh, fuck. Don't boomer right now. This is not the time to boomer, guys. All right. Now we're good. Okay. All right. Now let's start it. We're going to jump right in. And we're going to start from the very first. Boop. There we go. All right. Look, I got to be honest, guys. I'm kind of nervous. So I just, bear with me. A little nervous. So let's just jump right into this, because this is going to be a little rough. All right. So first things first. Just making sure okay. All right. So I messaged Sydney earlier, and I was simply, I had this idea. So here, let me tell you how this happened real quick. I saw Sydney liked my post about the quartering betraying his friends should affect his mental health more than just being on X, which he never left anyway. He deleted X, but he said he's taking a break from X, but he's been on it all day on his stream scrolling, so he's not actually taking a break. So she liked my tweet about that. So I was like, oh, wow, Sydney, I haven't talked to Sydney in a while, you know? And I was like, you know what? Let me ask her something. So I messaged her. And Sydney has always been super, super cool with me. So she replied. So here's what I said. I said, I know this is likely a wild inquiry, but if you ever want to pop on my show for 30 minutes or something in the future to give your take on this quartering mess, you're welcome and invited. And shockingly enough, she immediately responded. She says, the reason I'm not go the reason. Okay, hold on. This is not the this is not the redacted version. I mean, it doesn't. To be fair, it's not a big deal, but just to have my bases covered. To be honest, it probably wouldn't mean anything if I showed it, but because it's not really very. Is that it? I didn't show anything, but anyways, there we go. All right. So she said she didn't want to come on the show for a certain reason, and it's because the quartering has threatened her directly with something. Okay. And the other person, there's another person involved. There's multiple people involved that have threatened her with something. Okay. So she didn't want to do it. Now, this changes pretty quickly. I'm going to be honest. And we start getting pretty much in the nitty gritty. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, let's do this. Okay. I actually have a better plan to do this on the fly that's not going to take forever. And actually, I can do it instantly if I just do it this way. Okay. Oh, okay, it worked. Cool. All right. Here we go. I said, of course, that's what I imagined. I kind of got the vibe there was a bad falling out because, you know, she alluded to that immediately from the beginning. She says, yes, I fucking hate him, which I was like, oh, damn. He literally could have made me less of an enemy if he just shut his fat fucking face when shit went down. Damn. But he could not help himself. I said, I figured I would ask. I have to zoom in a lot, guys. So it's I have to keep pulling up the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. But I can just hit over. Okay. All right. I'm just going to read some excerpts from this next one because it's got a little bit of personal stuff in it. And then I think that should be it for us with the redacting stuff. I said all this happened because of his own words. And she's like, I would love to come on, but I'm intensely private. Jeremy, I'm paraphrasing. Jeremy he knows some information and that she doesn't want out, and he has zero morals, and he keeps threatening to basically dox all of her information if she ever speaks out about any of this. Okay, there you go. All right, here we go. Jared, just stay offline and mow your dog, please. All right, so now I think we're probably caught up with stuff we need to kind of avoid showing. There wasn't a lot, probably nothing really very dangerous, but I told her I would, and I want to keep to that. So. There we go. Now. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm reading them. All right, let's go. Fuck it. Boop, boop, boo, doo, 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 doo. Blackmail. Of course, yes. So she said, I said, you're right about that. As someone right in the middle of the stuff, Jeremy has little to no recourse. No one believes anything he says, but you're right. Better safe than sorry. Because Jeremy is obviously going to make up stuff left and right and center to try to discredit anybody, which it's not going to work. But Jeremy is so consumed with like Xanax and alcohol that it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't even matter at this point anymore. She said he's such a I said he called a buddy of mine and told him that he was broke and being forced to stream because of Rumble. I probably shouldn't have fucking showed this. Well, yeah, whatever. Yeah, so I'll just give you guys the deets on that. TheQuartering wants to quit streaming desperately, but Rumble will not let him. He has to stream every day on Rumble. So just letting you guys know. He does not want to stream. He hates streaming. He hates his chat. He hates everything about it. He doesn't want to be involved with streaming anymore. He basically has anxiety attacks the whole stream because everybody's calling him a cuck in the chat, and he can't take any criticism at all. So he's been pleading. I'm pretty sure, you know, I'm implying that he's been pleading with Rumble to get out of it, and Rumble won't let him get out of it. So suffer. Sydney says, Sydney's such a good person. I love Sydney, man. She says he's such a liar. He used to call me drunk, too. Say all kinds of shit. And we're going to get to that, by the way. Keep in mind, this is like the third slide out of like a billion. I got to the point where I had to record all of our calls because he says all this crap and then immediately walks it back the next day. Sound familiar? Does this sound familiar to anybody? He said he would go scorched earth and like ruin everybody's life tomorrow, and then he wakes up the next day and says he's too big for it. He's too important, too big. Everybody's lesser than him, right? That's what he does, right? Remember, that's what he does. The recordings, yes, Yellow. The recordings, yes, Yellow. I wonder what could happen with those. Make sure you subscribe. Oh, anyways, So look, guys, I know I'm like kind of stuttering. I'm like really nervous about all this because it's just gonna keep getting more and more and more and more wild. So, Bearing, what's up, brother? Okay, I'm making sure I'm trying not to show crazy stuff. She's like, I felt like I was going insane working with him. Felt constantly like I was being gaslit. The funny thing is, let's move to the next one. The funny thing is, I'm so glad these are in order. I was really worried they were going to be. Yeah, let's just zoom in on that bad boy. She says, the funny thing is, when he approached me to work and stream together, I told him I would not work with another alcoholic. And if he wanted to team up, he had to be sober. He agreed, and it quickly fell through. No shit, right? What happened the other day? He quit drinking cold turkey. The next day, guess what happened? Guess what happened? The next day, what happened? Yeah, he got caught drinking Fireball shooters like a degenerate. Who drinks Fireball shooters? The wine-based. He drinks the wine-based alcohol shooters, not the whiskey one. That's how down bad my boy is. My dog's barking. You hear him? All right. So I said, I think he's trying to garner sympathy or something. Dude's a strange dude. He claimed he's going to expose me on X and then walks it back to the next day. Just like he did with Craig, just like he did with everybody else. Yellow Flash, he's going to scorch earth and expose all of us. She says he gets drunk, talks insane shit, then he sobers up and realizes it's a bad idea. All right. All right. And I said, let's be fair, he deserves it. I posted the Ren Fair video because he struck my channel. I didn't realize that would go viral and he would get banned from all the Ren Fair entertainment stuff. All right. She said, oh my God, I saw that. Well, maybe he shouldn't be a fucking predator. Problem is, if I say anything, his entire house of cards come down. I know some private shit about his personal life. That makes everything make sense. And because I'm not sure of how I feel about publicly exposing that, I've said nothing. We're getting to it, boys. We're getting to it. All right. I know I'm having to work my way through these. Okay. Right here, I said he told me that normal people, the Ren Fair behavior was completely normal, and normal guys basically walk around filming women. I said, I guess I'm not a real dude. She says, no, they don't. What the fuck? And then she spurgs out. This is something City does a lot, which I really enjoy. She just spams the keyboard. She's like, it makes me so angry. All right. Next. I say I'm going off on stream. I'm actually quite a few levels of frustrated. I'm usually super calm. And I said, you have an open invite, of course. And that's when she said, let me think about it. I just don't know if I want to be involved. I'm just proofreading to make sure I don't say anything a little bit wild here. Okay, here we now we're gonna start getting into some real ass shit. You guys ready? This next one is about Publica. So Jeremy claimed that he gave Sydney Watson $250,000 and she just pocketed the money. She pocketed it, boys. She just kept the money and just betrayed Jeremy for no reason. It looks like that's not actually what happened. Here we go. Actually, one thing I do want to put on the record, despite the lies Jeremy told, I was the only person who never got paid a single cent when the Publica thing was happening. Jeremy might have fronted the whole thing financially, but also every dollar went to him. And when I asked to see the books, he'd give me the runaround. Or when I asked if I could buy him out, he kept insisting I give him 100 or 200K. He pulled these random numbers out of his ass. Just completely out of his ass, boys. What a fuck face. What a fuck face. Scam alert. He describes it as you getting $250,000 and then betraying him. What a fuck face. She said that is insane and never happened. All right. She says, you're welcome to legit read out what I said to you. I don't know if I want to talk myself between, and this comes back up a few times as to match what I said earlier. Between Elijah Schaffer and all this shit, I'm so burned out on being involved in drama and being associated with drama. This isn't who I want to be online, which I totally get that. I totally get that. I mean, that's kind of like me, except here I am. It's what I'm good at is talking to people and, you know, and reading. Now, to be fair, TheQuartering is really easy to read, you know. All right. Okay. All right. I'm just making sure we're all good. But yeah, I never, ever made any money on TP. I also worked for free. I coordinated all our people, edited their videos, edited their writing. I was the content person. He contributed very little, but he would call me and badger me all about it. Again, this is actually part of the record I'd like to set straight because it is insane to suggest I made $250,000 when I didn't see a single dollar. Ooh, fraud alert. Fraud alert. I said that's Jeremy's MO. He likes to boast about how much money he gives to people who just betray him for no reason. And she says, yes, it's insane. And that's what started me to distance myself. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, here's a big, we're going to get into something here where he actually just stole money from her, completely separated from the Publica thing. Completely separated. He just stole money from her, and this is wild. Okay, let me take a swig. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like it. All right. Here we go. I don't know how this is legal, by the way, but yeah, he unironically stole money with it. Thank you, one in Pulse for 2,000 kicks. Appreciate you, brother. I hate how I can't see subs on Kick. Oh, I know how to do it. Sorry, guys. I'm just making sure I ain't missing anything. I know you guys are freaking chopping at the bit. Trust me, I am too. Thank you, 401 Social Skill. I love you, buddy. 3 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago. Jesus, guys. You guys need to settle down on Kick. What the hell's going on? 00. Thank you, buddy, for your sub. Adderall gifted 5 subs. Adderall. Thank you, buddy. Agent Orange, 1,000 kicks. I love you, buddy. Here's some support from One Nups. Thank you, buddy. And Felt Cell Phone. Thank you. Old School. Thank you. Bohemes, 5 gifted subs. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Capybara supporter. I love you, buddy. I appreciate you for your kickies. One Nope. 5 gifted subs. Jesus, guys. You guys are insane. I can't even keep it straight. All right. I'm caught up. Thank you, guys. All right. Let's go. Just want to get those out of the way. Here we go. Blue. Don't do it, bro. Don't do it, bro. What caused me to start to distance myself and dislike him immensely actually had to do with my tea company. You guys ready? This is wild. When I read this, I was shaking with anger. When I was gearing up to launch, he said he would do my fulfillment for me from his 3PL. So we had a lot of phone conversations about cost, etc. He said he wasn't trying to make money off of me, and I said, great. Foreshadowing, everyone. Foreshadowing. Maybe we can help you get better shipping rates for your coffee with the increased quantity of shipments, including my tea. I don't expect people to make $0, but I understand business. I thought it was so cool he prepared to break even to help me. Like, wow, it's awesome, right? Anyway, didn't turn out like that at all. Without boring you with the detail, 3PLs charge anywhere from 50 cents, maybe $1.75 per item, depending on what it is, to pack and ship. Usually it'll be $1 for the first item, then maybe 30 to 70 cents for every item after. So say someone was packing a 4-pack of tea, they'd charge $1, then say 50 cents 3 times for $2.50 for the whole package. 3PLs charge you for everything, including boxes. Ooh. Too late, Ram. Too late. All right. Building the boxes and adding special things to the order, etc. We talked a bunch before we decided to go with Jeremy. And it was really because he was my friend and we had a handshake agreement that he wouldn't fuck me over. Well, it is Jeremy Hambly, everybody. It is Jeremy Hambly. Okay? Keep in mind, I want you to see this last sentence right here. We agreed on $2.50 a box. How much does anybody in the chat predict it ended up being? Jeremy Hambly is somebody you have to have a contract with. Jeremy Hambly knows this. So Jeremy Hambly will openly manipulate you, right? A lot of you are getting really close in the chat, actually. A lot of you are way under. Woo! It's crazy. Jeff, yeah, you're under. Jeff on the road. How you doing, Jeff on the road? So, what did Jeremy Hambly say early on in his career? In a very, very, very early YouTube clip, he said he was extremely good at sales, manipulating people, and tugging on heartstrings. Remember that? Yeah, he still utilizes this shit to the day. Right? So here we go. We agreed on $2.50 per box. We took this to mean per completed box. He ended up charging me $2.50 per item. Per item. What if there's 10 things in this box, dude? What if there's 100 boxes? TheQuartering just makes like 10 grand for free. He was charging her 5 times more than he agreed, depending on the quantity. Jeremy Hambly is supposed to be her friend. And he was charging her 5 times? I'm sorry you felt that way, Remy. Wait till you see how he responds when she's pissed about this, by the way. So, for a 4-pack of my tea, keep in mind how small little tea packets are, by the way. Contract or firm handshake. It was a handshake deal, right? You know Jeremy insisted on a handshake deal. You know he did, because he intended on completely destroying her. Because that's what he does, dude. The homie tax. Yeah, the homie tax, where you get completely raked over the coals. So 4-pack of tea, that was just $10. $10. Was $10 just to pack it in a box. Jeremy charged her $10 just to pack it into a box. $8 to ship. So I'm in it for $18 just to get a single package shipped with him. Even in the most expensive places, $2.50 per item is fucking insane. His dudes get paid $15 an hour, so 1.5 of my boxes would pay for one of his guys' entire hours of work. Everything else is eventually just profit. So everything else is eventually just profit. So my first bill from him was fucking lunacy. And it was my entire profit margin. Yeah, no shit. The whole profit margin. Now, I want to give you guys some context here. This is the financial fraud robbing part of the DMs, by the way. Just letting you know, there's multiple. And it was my entire profit margin. When I asked him about this, he said, you should have structured your business better. You just didn't realize what you were doing when you went in business with me, Sydney. That's what he was meaning. Well, you shouldn't have partnered with my dumb ass, Sydney. Should have done better, Sydney. Why? Because Jeremy is a god. Jeremy, no, he is a business god. Keep in mind, he's a multi-trillionaire business god. He's Elon Musk. He's the overweight, bald, smelly Elon Musk, right? So he's like, oh, you know what, Sydney? You just suck at business, and I'm a god, and I robbed you. Good luck. You're a dumbass. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. That must be the only that might be the only honest thing he's ever said. There was no negotiating with him either. His attitude was basically suck it. So I pulled my product. He so kindly offered to pay to have it. Oh shit! I might have to go back and hit show more on this one because I might have not done that for the thing. Yep. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. I'll just read it to you because it's like 2 seconds. I've never seen a message say show more inside of a DM. So I was confused. Oh, I'm passing some crazy shit. All right. So he said you should have structured better. There's no negotiating with him. He said, suck it. So I pulled my product. He so kindly offered to pay to have it shipped to Texas. I think he paid half, but it cost me thousands of dollars to get it back here. And he crippled my fledgling business all so we can make a few extra bucks. All right, there we go. Now we're caught up. My cat's fucking freaking out, brother. So I said, what the fuck is what I said to response. I said, what the fuck? All right. She says, I know this is boring, but it started me on the wow. This is the first instance that Sydney was like, wow, actually, this might be a very bad person I'm dealing with here. This is a very bad person I'm dealing with. That's what she's saying, you know? She said, I started to withdraw from him. She's like, I'm so glad I do my own fulfillment. I love writing little cards for people. I like to add freebies. I love the positive feedback I get from customers, but he fucked me. He fucked my ass. Just brutally. And he did it on purpose. God. This is making me angry. He did it on purpose and he tried to act like it wasn't a huge fucking problem. And I said, he's absolutely awful. This all tracks. He's burnt every bridge in a relationship he has ever had, including you. Robbed everyone blind. All right. She says, yes, I tried to explain the T thing. Trying to explain the T thing's a little hard because people need to understand how fulfillment works, and they probably glaze over listening. But the fact was, he prepared to fuck me over so hard for a few bucks and then told me to structure my business better. It was absolutely crazy. You opened my floodgates. I'm sorry. Yeah, well. The floodgates are definitely open. Okay. Just fix your business model, dude. Just fix your business model, dude. All right. She said, fuck consumers, just make more money. And I said in quotation, sorry, Sid, you're just too dumb to get it. She's like, this was the vibe. Thanks for the monies. She said, dude, it broke my spirit. You know extra why I hate him? You know why extra why I hate him? YouTubers already get a bad name when they launch a product because it's really usually just a total hands-off and fully controlled by a third party. Show is. Fully controlled by a third party, guys. Most YouTuber businesses are fully controlled by a third party. His included. His included. There you go. There you go. She says, mine is not. Dropship brand, dropship boys. She says, I literally do everything, and people associate this with the Jeremys of the world. The reason I don't put my T mentions in every video is because I desperately do not want to be like him. So yeah, his coffee's dropship, everybody. Enjoy. Enjoy. All right. She's like, I'm going to stop ranting. She does not stop ranting. Oh my gosh. All right. She says, she does the thing that she does, the blah. She's like, I'm gonna stop ranting now. You super open my floodgates. I have nobody to talk to about any of this. And when it bubbles up, I rant, basically. She rants when it bubbles up because you can't talk to anybody, man. You literally can't talk to anybody because Jeremy acts like a mafia boss. He strikes channels. He threatens you in different ways, which we're going to get to this. More of the threats and more detailing the threats. But everybody's so afraid of talking about Jeremy. Is he a mob boss? What is he? Who is this guy? Is his, like, all of his influence and clout, did it all go to his waistline? Is he the physical manifestation of his power? Hey, Willie Will-I Dot, what's up, buddy? This kind of seems like that, right? Kind of spooky. But Sydney is brave enough, and we all need to give Sydney Watson some props here because she knows there could be repercussions for this. Now, to be fair, I think Jeremy's a bitch, but that's whatever. There could be repercussions from this, and she decided to share it with all you guys. So you need to give her some props because she's based as fuck for all this. Because we're gonna keep going, and it's gonna start diving into more and more and more stuff. More and more stuff. Okay. All right, boys. Make sure you do me a favor, real quick. Pause. Make sure you like this stream on YouTube, and if you're on Kick, make sure you post some bees. Thank you. That's all I ask on the Kick side. Post some bees, brother. And don't forget to become a sub on there if you're not. Thank you. Appreciate you. Jelly King, Low Temp Dabs. I appreciate you guys. 404 Social, I got you. We're caught up on the Kick stuff. I'm just making sure. Thank you guys for all your kicks, all your subs. Just in case this goes down, just in case this goes down and crashes and burns, my YouTube's gone in an hour or two, we'll have a backup. So make sure you got that sub over there as well. All right. Let's continue, boys. Everybody hell Sydney. She's great. It would have been pretty wild if she would have came on, and she actually still might come on in the future. So don't get me wrong here. All right, here we go. This is okay. Here we go. All right, can I clip this back? I don't care yet. Whatever. Clippers, yes, clip channels are allowed to clip me. I don't mind. I do not mind. All right, the Throbber. So he robbed her financially. Okay. He robbed her financially. Everybody remember this. He robbed her financially. Okay. Now what happens when she confronts him? She says, I want to stay away from the drama because it stresses me out and I don't want to be known for this. He has threatened to sue me, leak my DMs, dox her, basically. She said in a previous message, or implied that he was going to dox her, people in her life that are not public people. Like the thing that Jeremy claims people are doing to him, right? He claims people are doing this to him. That's what he intended on doing to Sydney Watson. That's what he threatened her with. He was going to expose all of the personal, private people in her life. And then also sue her, I guess. Which I don't know how a lawsuit's going to work when she has freaking text messages of him saying this crazy shit and phone calls of him saying this crazy shit. And then he's going to sue her? What? Just play that in court. Here's him being crazy. She said, you're welcome to confirm this stuff here. She said, apologizes for venting my spleen at you. That must be an Australian phrase. I said, it's all good. I appreciate it. I get it. I do wonder. Oh, okay. Hold on. We gotta stop. You know what, guys? Assuming that most of you are not blind, I'm going to let you read this before I read it live. But wait, there's more. You guys ready? I want you to read this one. Oh. You get ready?
Doobie-doobie-doo.
That's the guy.
Doobie-doobie-doo.
Married man alert. Married man alert, everybody in the chat. Married man alert. Married man alert right here, everybody. Whoa, buddy. Whew. All I know is if Jeremy makes a statement about this, I need you guys all to comment on it. Say, I'm sorry you felt that way. Sorry you felt that way, bro. Katsu says, another feminist trying to take down my cool Christian bro, Jeremy. I asked specifically, did he ever imply or do anything creepy like in these drunk calls or anything? Thinking back to the Renfair stuff and how he acts. She responded, yes. Yes. Third Martian, brother. Ooh. All right. Let's move on. Strike it coming text. You ain't lying, brother. You ain't lying, boys. Make sure you subscribe and all that shit because it's about to get heavy. It's about to get heavy, boys. Thanks to all the super chats. I will hit them. I see we already have some pink boys and stuff, so I appreciate you guys supporting this and keeping us going and doing this investigation into the Ham Planet himself. I'm trying to work towards more of it, so I appreciate it. All of it's very, very appreciative, and I'll actually read them and not cut the show off and not pretend like they don't exist. Okay, after making $3,000. Shit, I haven't made $3,000 on YouTube in like 4 years on one stream. That shit happened yesterday, and not a single. They read 4 chats and then turned the damn thing off. That's insane. Go on, take the money and run. Shit, I'd be up all night reading that shit. Thank you guys so much. All right. Here we go. Thank you, John. So, she said, when we first met in 2021-ish, he was in Dallas for some event, and we all went to a bar. I met a dude that night who I went on to a date, and that guy and I talked the whole time. I drove Jeremy back to his hotel with 2 other people in the car. The whole time he was going on about how he wanted to fight the guy I was talking to and basically saying he'd fight him for me. Jeremy, you gay. He's gay, brother. That is I'd fight for you, m'lady. No, m'lady. He's Fedora Maxon. He's a simp. He's a cuck. He's a simp. Oh, damn. She did say early. She says later in the text that there's a reason she's called the Cuck Destroyer. Because he is indeed a cuck. Confirmed, by the way. All right, next one. Oh my God, Jesus. Let me make sure. I got this next one's really bad. Let me just proofread this. Because I don't want to say anything crazy. Okay. All right, I'm just making sure. Because it gets bad, it gets worse and worse, and I don't want to say anything. I don't want to share anything personal, man. All right. He'd get drunk and randomly text me boobs or some similar shit. And later, we went on later to discuss the reason behind this is because he was on the off chance he was hoping that she would send him some tits. That was the point. It was the off chance that he'd send some tits. That's what he wanted, right? He'd say weird crap during calls too, oddly sexual shit. Yeah, no, think back to Renfair, everybody. Think back to Renfair. I can't remember specifics, but I complained to my man about it because I was so weirded out. And I'd be like, okay, righto, Jeremy, and try to get off the phone as fast as possible, right? She says, I'm a massive prude. I'm not into that kind of thing, right? She says, I'm weirded out about it. I don't know him. I don't want to know. Don't want to share about it. So him being sexual was always really alarming to me, especially after the Elijah Schaefer stuff. But yeah, I perceived what he was doing, at least in the early days, as hitting on me And I made it super clear I'm not interested. Obviously, right? Like, I mean, come on. For one, he's married. Two, he looks like a bald, fatter Shrek. Okay? That's not going to help, right? It's not going to help. Oh, the mask slips. The mask slips. Rejected. Felted. He's been rejected. He's been felted, guys. Mailman says somehow Melanie will defend this. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I got more to go, by the way. But yeah, everybody that's defending the quartering will defend this. Or they'll say, you shouldn't be talking about it. That's their entire rhetoric still to this day. The only people defending the quartering on my timeline on X is, you shouldn't be talking about this. This is lame. Either A, it's like, this is too many people are talking and I don't care. And I'm like, okay, well, just don't listen. I don't understand the problem. And then B, it's, well, you're just trying to cancel him. I'm like, bro, he's canceled, brother. It's over. No one's trying to cancel anybody. The canceling happened a month ago. He just can't let it go. So he's here. He's here. And he doesn't want to be here, apparently. Apparently, he's not. He has to stream 5 days a week. He's required to. He cannot. That's why he's suffering through those streams and completely getting. Did you watch the show today? I tried to watch a little bit of it. He wouldn't speak for 3 minutes at sometimes, and he would just say, and he would be completely looking at something else, typing, because somebody was rating his stream. Jeremy's asshole stretched by Adam Seller. Was that what was that? That was the name of the raid, right? So it will continue until morale improves. The dead air Jerry, yeah, dude. Old dead air Jerry. He always helping us out, right? All dead air Jerry. Well, anyways, Klein, thank you for the 500 kicks, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm gonna read all the kick messages and everything. Thank you, Jelly King 1000. I'll read the messages. Dragon Reborn. Thank you, buddy. Shadow 5 gifted. Oh my God, Shadow, buddy. Cuckold Sam sandwich. Thank you, buddy. Pre-Dawn Corpse. Bro, I've heard this before. I saw a clip of your ass. Your name, Pre-Dawn Corpse. All right, let's continue. Make sure you guys follow if you haven't followed and all that stuff. Like if you haven't, subscribe if you haven't. So let's continue, boys. Let's continue. I think there was a raid by the Ren Fair Creeper. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you don't remember, Jeremy said he was taking a mental health break from X, right? He was quitting X. He's done with it. But then he launches a stream and he's scrolling X on an alt account. And people have already identified like 2 accounts now that are alt accounts, right? 2 different people have already identified alt accounts. He can't get off. He's obsessed. He's obsessed with affirmation. He's obsessed with people talking about him. He sits there and Googles his name all day. He's felting himself. He's the first person in the world that loves to felt themselves. It's insane, right? He deleted his podcast channel videos 2 days ago and claimed that he got struck to pretend like he was a victim. By the way, he deleted them to pretend. And then he admitted that he deleted them because he was getting bullied, because he claimed it was his editor. What editor? All of his videos is him just talking with no jump cuts. Ripped straight from a stream. What editor? You don't even need one. You just post the fucking video, you know? So there's no editor. He can't afford an editor right now, which you'll find out shortly, right? You're going to find all this stuff out. You're going to find out his problems with sobriety shortly. Okay? I would tell you on my show, but I don't want to take it away from the person that's going to be exposing it. I think tonight. Might be tonight. Okay? So this is just your first show. Then you got Kino. And then you got there's something else you're going to see pop up. All right. I said right here above this, I'm like, I keep telling myself this guy can't be this bad, right? She said, no, he's awful. You don't see it at first because of his nice guy act, but eventually the mask slips and you realize he's a money-obsessed, insane person who is so unhinged and untethered from reality. God, she got some harsh words. I want to be the sort of internet person who doesn't do fuckery, and just having been involved with him shortly, I'm now forever connected to the fuckery, and I hate it. I hate it. And I totally get that. That would suck to be connected to that giant bastard who robs everybody around him, manipulates everybody around him for every reason. Remember when I called him the most gluttonous dude on the planet? He's gluttonous with alcohol, with drugs, with sex, porn, money, spending, consuming, toys, children's items, magic cards, Pokemon cards. He's just consume maximum gluttony. So he carries that on over to humans. He completely robs and manipulates everybody around him. He can't stop. He doesn't know how to stop. I can't stop. You got to suck everybody dry, just like he does to the bull. Oh, my God. All right, guys. I'm getting a little depressed. Give me some bees in the chat, please. Your conservative Christian channel, sire. Yes. All right. And then I said thank you. Thank you for having a level-headed response and responding to a nobody like me. And she's like, I don't think you're a nobody. I told her I was going to say that. All right. I was like, thank you for not calling me a nobody. All right, let me move on here. Hold on 2 seconds. I gotta move on to the next piece. Thank you. Raw Alerts real quick says, I hope Chris Mayer is happy with the decision to join QuarterCast because last night was bad. She seriously effed up. And honestly, if it wasn't for Bert pushing the conversation, she would have not been talking about it publicly. It was a bad showing. Yeah, I'm going to hit the Orange Boys real quick and we'll move on. Thank you, Raw Alerts. Love you, buddy. I got to respect the Super Chat boys. Saw says, this is for your quartering coverage. Take the risk and these DMs. Thank you, Cody. Love you. And the Casino. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. John, Japan. Thank you, buddy. I love you, buddy. Appreciate you. Billy says, I think him being banned from the repair life is what pissed him off for good. He loved going to them to spy on married women. Billy with a pink voice says, if Jared strikes down your channel, he will regret doing it because he won't like it, and Kino and Vinty will go after him hard. They're gonna go after him anyway. In the lawsuit, for sure, he is also worse than Jarbo. He's worse than Jarbo, yeah. He's way worse than Jarbo. He's way worse than Jarbo ever was, dude. Like, how do you even fall for the same shit? How do you even like be on the Jarbo stream, shit on Jarbo for flagging people, and then you do the same thing like 6 years, 7 years later? How do you do that? How do you do that? It's insanity to me. Like, how do you fall for the same shit? It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But that's him. That's where we're at now. Oh my gosh. All right. Okay. All right, let's continue, boys. All right, the next of these, she says that the thing with Jeremy hitting on her made her extremely nervous. Sorry, there's been a lot, and I'm scrolling up again. Okay, because I was screenshotting stuff when I was at the gym, and now I'm home. All right. She reiterated about the $250,000. She said the $250,000 is what sent her off the fucking the deep end. And she's mentioned Bearing in these messages. She said the fact that Bearing flipped on him is pretty insane. It's nuts, you know? It's absolutely nuts. Oh, this is a funny. We're going to show this one because it's funny. We're just going to... Oh, that's the wrong key. We're going to show this for Maximum Felting Edition. You guys ready? This is going to be the Maximum Felt screenshot right here for everybody. You ready for this one? I like this one a lot. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I'm just doing this on the fly because there's extra messages after I got home and started preparing. Okay. Yes. All right, cool. All right, let's pull this up. You guys are gonna like this one. This one's fun. All right. Here we go. Let's pull this one up. This is really ironic, so enjoy this, guys. Oh my gosh, is that a $300? Holy $300 super chat! Holy ass! Tell Sydney Watson, Willie Will. My man, thank you, Willie Will. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for that support. Love you, dude. Awesome, dude. Thank you, buddy. Holy ass. Holy ass. And in honor of this super chat, Mr. Willie Will, let's pull this one up. Pull this one up. You ready? She said, he once called me the cuck destroyer. I don't think he realizes how true that is. Maximum felting alert! Maximum felting alert! She is the cuck destroyer. Woo! Fucking felted, brother. Oh my God, the cuck destroyer. Sydney, how could you do this? Maximum, I'm sorry you felt that way. I'm sorry you felt that way, Willie Will I dot. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that support, man. Thank you. It's insane. Insane, I tell you. Sydney doesn't like him dead bad. Oh, Sydney, what do you mean Sydney doesn't like him? What's he calling Mel? I can't even imagine. Dude. I mean, you saw the streams, right? You saw the streams where he obviously was making Sydney extremely uncomfortable, right? Extremely comfortable. Or uncomfortable, sorry. I'm so comfortable with this. No, she was extremely uncomfortable. Okay? So, anyways. Yeah, sure. Wait, hold on. All right. I think Sydney's joining. I guess she's watching. How you doing, Sydney? Hope you're doing well. Everybody here loves you. Everybody here in the chat loves you, Sydney. I want to see bees in the chat for Sydney on YouTube and on Kick. Sydney's the goat. She's the goat. She said my StreamYard froze. Oh, we're back. She said she's going to phone in and talk about some stuff. Well, that's what she said. She might not. I don't know, but she just said that. So, dude, my StreamYard is tripping balls. Let me make sure everything's good here. All right. I should probably just open this on another window. Wait. Oh, fuck. All right. She read me the message, so we'll see what happens. Thank you, Rockman. I appreciate you, Willie. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Let's have some fun here. Sydney's joining. Let's make sure she got all of her audio set up. All that good stuff.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry if the noise is a bit wonky. I pace because I'm stressed out by all of this. I just want to clarify a few things because I've been watching along. Because I really don't want to be involved in any of this for pretty obvious reasons, but I do want to clarify that Jeremy's never threatened my personal life from the perspective of exposing things about my boyfriend or anything like that. That's just an ongoing concern that I have because he's a very private person and I don't want anybody to, think he's fair game because he's just not. And that kind of goes for the things that I know about Jeremy too. There's no world, and the people in my DMs asking me, I'm never going to say anything because I said this in my video about Elijah Schaefer where I made the point that a lot of this is mutually assured destruction. And there's nothing really in my life, I'm boring. There's nothing really in my life that I want to hide or anything like that, but I will never go after somebody's personal life like that. So I just want to clarify that.
Good.
I think that's really important.
Yeah. No, I agree. And that's how it should be. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You should always kind of leave that off the table. And, you know, that's why I think people are calling Jeremy a hypocrite, because Jeremy seems to be going around and doing that kind of thing behind alts, or when he gets kind of, you know, messed up like at night on a Friday or Saturday and whatnot, which you have a lot of experience with.
Yeah, I
So,
do.
yeah.
I mean,
So-
and like my motivation here is, and I think people sort of misunderstand, they think that it's a pile-on. And for me, I think having to deal with two of the same kind of man back to back was pretty awful. And granted, I put myself in that situation. I didn't correctly read the room. But when I extricate myself, I just want to be left alone. I like making my content and being in my weird little bubble with my community. And that's kind of just where I want to be. I don't want to be involved in the ongoing drama. The other thing I just want to clarify too is I don't know if Jeremy's product is drop shipped. I can't speak to that. What I meant is that I do all my own packing. He doesn't obviously like touch the product going into the bags or anything like that. He has employees who do that. Whether or not they work directly under him, I also don't know. So I can't comment on that. I'm not going to, because I just don't know.
Okay. Yeah, it's that's what the chat is like. They're like, oh, it's drop ship. Oh God, Jesus. Everybody's waiting, you know.
I don't want to give anybody any ammo saying that I lied or I said something that, you know, could be misconstrued in any way. So I just want to clarify a couple of things. And the last thing is, yes, I did record conversations. It's obviously so taboo in our industry to do that. Again, these are not things I'm going to be putting on the internet. They were for me to listen back to because he made me feel crazy.
Right.
So it was just a thing where I was like, oh, this guy's saying one thing, you know, on an 11 o'clock call at night when he's drunk off of his head. And then I'd be like, wait a minute, you said all this stuff last night. And then the next day he'd phone and be like, I never said that. And so I just felt like I was losing my mind.
So like what kind of stuff would he say? Would just like business stuff or?
Yeah. So with the business, he would call me and he'd be like, you know, you got to buy me out and you owe me all this money. And at the time I was in the middle of a lawsuit. So I hadn't really been working a ton, because also I was working for free on the publica and trying to get that up and running. And obviously the way that business played out wasn't awesome, and there's definitely some culpability on my end with how things went, but he would call me and badger me about it. And then the next day I'd be like, okay, well, you know, you said all this stuff yesterday. I don't have $100,000 to buy you out, or whatever arbitrary number he's pulling out of his butt. But then he would say, oh, I never said that, and I really want to do this with you. And it was very confusing, and I always felt like I was being gaslit.
Yeah. And that's what he does now. He'll have a crash out on Twitter and then just delete everything. And I guess he does. That's what my theory is. He just doesn't remember the next day, I guess. I don't know. You know?
Yeah.
It's
I mean, there was just a lot of weirdness that went on. And the thing was that I went from working with an alcoholic who was always drunk to working with another alcoholic. And I was just like, hey, I get it. Everybody struggles with these things or has a thing that maybe doesn't work for them. But if you want to work with me, this has to stop. Because I have a weird history around alcohol. It stresses me out. I don't drink. And just, you know, having to deal with somebody who was calling me absolutely off his head always made me really uncomfortable. And I was like, dude, get it together. Especially with him like tweeting at people, I'd be behind the scenes like, hey man, I think you should lay off. And the worst part was people have always treated me like his keeper. They DM me behind the scenes and say, hey, can you, you know, get him to stop doing this and that? And I'd be like, this is a freaking 40-year-old man, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not his keeper. So yeah. Don't drink and tweet, kids.
So his drinking deal, this it's been a while since you've been separated from this whole deal, right?
Yeah, like 18 months. And that's why I don't understand when the publica ended. And again, things got ugly. It wasn't good. I freely admit that. Maybe one day I'll talk about it. But yeah, things were not great. And then he, after that, just started talking insane amounts of shit about me. And a lot of it was so untrue. Like when you told me the $250,000 thing, that's what sent me into orbit. Because I was like, that's insane.
That's what he's repeating. Yeah, Jeremy has, like I told you the message, Jeremy has this thing where he'll just like brag to the public about how much money he gives to people just out of the goodness of his heart, and then they just betray him. They betray him.
So let me clarify on that. The only time Jeremy ever paid me was when we were doing streams together, and he would give me half of whatever super chat money was left after YouTube took its cut. That's the only time. And when the publica was happening, there was actually one payment that he owed, quote unquote owed me, and I said, "Hey, you keep it. You just roll that back into the business." That's
Right.
the only time he's ever paid me. I never made any money from that enterprise, but that's okay, right? Because when you're growing a business, typically you're the last person to get paid.
Right.
But
Exactly.
to make it sound like I made out like a bandit is insane. I didn't know that, and that is staggering to me.
Yeah, I mean that's what I think he has said this multiple times. Like he keeps saying it. He keeps saying it. He does this with a lot of women for specifically. Like there's Trillium Girl in that June documentary. He gave her like $1,000 and all this streaming equipment. I don't know the details, but he apparently gave her all this stuff. And like, is that common? Is that something he does with like a lot of people, specifically women? He just like offers to give them money and help them and finance their stuff. Like, is that a thing?
I can't really speak to other people's experiences. I'm not sure. Um, at the front end, I think that he definitely wants to be a nice guy. He wants to be your friend. He wants to be helpful. And, to his credit, he gave me a ton of great YouTube advice, and he would help me with titles and thumbnails and all sorts of stuff at the front end. But I think that over time, it gets really sour. And that's kind of what happened between us. The tea thing, obviously, was a really big turning point for me. And I know it's all a bit boring to explain to people, but when you have somebody who's supposed to be doing you a favor, and I know what people are going to say, Sydney, you dumbass, why would you ever have a handshake agreement? And fair enough, lesson learned. But, when you're working with people, you expect that they're going to continue to be good to you and nice to you. But it just quickly devolved, I guess, for me. So I don't know if other women have experienced, or I don't know what other women have gone through, but just definitely in my case, yeah, it was like you had this person who was trying to help. He never was like, "Oh, let me give you a bunch of money," but he was like, "Let me help you." Because I was at my lowest when he and I started working together.
Right.
Yeah,
So
because my other show had just fallen apart.
right. And then you decided. So like, was it after the tea or the public thing? Like, what was the catalyst for you like separating your show from Jeremy? Because it just ended, right? So like, what was the catalyst?
Yeah. So honestly, this has been so long. I feel like it's been so long that timeline-wise, I might stuff some stuff up here so everybody can double check me on when things ended and started and whatnot. But basically, we were doing a fun little stream together called Community Notes. And I think because it wasn't generating as much money as he liked, he was like, "Hey, let's not do this. It's kind of taking away from other things," which was fine with me because I was trying to grow my channel back and kind of recover from all the things that had happened to me. I was in the middle of a lawsuit. Like I was stressed out. So that was fine. And then I think it was after that that he wanted to do the publica, which again, I think was a really great, noble idea. But to have a business like that, you really need a lot of infrastructure. You need a lot of money behind it, a lot of people. And obviously we just didn't have that. And I totally take responsibility for, part of that going completely wrong. So yeah, we went from Community Notes to the publica. And around this time was when the tea thing happened. And that's when I was like, wow, you suck.
Yeah. That was like that changed your impression of him, I guess.
Yeah, completely. Because at that point I was used to the drunk calls. And I was used to, some of the other weirdness. But at that point I didn't fully dislike him. I just thought, okay, this is a person who's, struggling and he's got some stuff that he's dealing with. Fair enough. We all have that. And then, yeah, when he fucked my business, I was like, yo, this feels kind of personal and deliberate and shitty. And just being told, oh, structure your business better really upset me because, as you kind of probably got when I was DMing you, I love my company. Like I put so much of my time into it. So yeah, that was really upsetting. That kind of changed my perspective of him.
Oh yeah, as it would, and that's why I asked you a question in DMs as far as the weird stuff. Like when you saw, because you would have everybody saw it when you saw that Ren Fair clip. Like, what was your impression of it?
I just thought, why would you behave like that in public?
Yeah, Simple, right? Like, what do you
I
do?
think, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of this, especially as a woman commenting, people chalk all this stuff up to feminism, and they'll say things like, oh, women shouldn't have this perspective, and, oh, you're being too sensitive. But, in reality, I think that one of the primary functions of a man is to protect women and to make sure that women are not being creeped on. And if you're the man doing the creeping, there's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And he quote tweeted that at me. And I don't know how he didn't have me blocked. He actually blocked me like 2 days ago before he deleted X, which is very shocking. I lasted that long. But when he quote tweeted at me, he said it was just normal banter, normal behavior. And I was blown away because I've never in my life wanted to follow people and film them. And,
No, that's odd behavior. That's bizarre behavior.
yeah. And like, that's why I asked you, like, when you were around him personally, I mean, does he act in a way, like, especially when he's drinking, like, because you went to probably like some or meetups or whatever, like conventions together and did some events together, like, was there ever any air of this, like, him being weird as hell in public or anything like that?
No, not to my knowledge. The only incident that really stands out to me, you got to remember, it's been a couple of years now, but the only incident that really stood out to me was the one where we go into a bar, a big group of us. I was chatting to a bloke that I ended up dating.
Right.
He and I just met that night. And yeah, on the way home, Jeremy was telling me that he's going to beat this guy up and he's going to fight him. And I was like, what's giving you this indication that you're going to fight another man to, I guess, for me, like, not for me as on behalf of me, but for me as in to conquer, to take the woman back to cave. Like, that was the vibe. And I was like, dude, I don't know what's given you the indication that this is acceptable behavior, because at that point, he'd been cool. Like, he'd been someone who I was talking to about other relationships. We'd sort of talked about bits and bobs to do with our personal lives and things. And I was like, oh, this is like a friend. This is a friend, not someone who's interested in me. And that was when I was like, oh, Christ, no, sir, no.
Yeah, that goes back to the manipulation. Like he said earlier in his career, he was really, really good at, like, kind of like worming in and manipulating and kind of pulling at people's heartstrings. So that would make sense, getting into those, like, conversations about personal stuff and how he's going to help and stuff like that to find his way in. That's my impression.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the motivation was or whatever, but this is also before all of the super awful crap went down. So, like, as in with my show ending and what have you. So I don't know, perhaps I'm naive, and I hate to admit that, but I think in some ways I'm a bit of a dum-dum when it comes to these interactions, because I go into it thinking, oh, we're cool, we're fine, we're mates, there's nothing else to this. And then I learn that I have misread the situation or misread the room, and I'm like, oh crap, and then have to navigate it. That was definitely a really, really weird situation, and I just was like, I mean, okay. And I mean, when I dropped him off at his hotel, I was just like, get out of my car, please, get out. This is so weird. And I was so uncomfortable. And then, yeah, that bloke and I went on to date for a little bit. And then I met my now boyfriend. So, yeah.
Right. And then after that, now, is this before? I mean, you said this was probably the first instance. So, like, he would, like, drunk call you and say, like, kind of weird, strange shit, or text you weird shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the drunk calling was really from day one. And again, like, I'm not gonna come down like a ton of bricks on this dude, because so many people have problems with alcohol. And I think that, being fair to just humans, if someone's dealing with something and they're not ready to deal with it properly, yeah, substances play a huge role. I don't like working with people who have substance problems, because they almost inevitably cause problems for you and for everybody around you. And so I knew when we started working together, you gotta remember, so I met this dude maybe in 2020 or maybe 2021, I'm not sure. So we met, and then we were cool. He hit on me. It was whatever. I was like, all right, I'm going to let it go, because you were trashed. So let me let that go, and I won't hold it against you. We've all done stupid shit when we've been drunk. And then when my show ended, so that was 2022, beginning of 2022, that's when he came along and was like, hey, let's work together. And because I'd seen how he is when he's drunk, and he's drunk a lot, I was like, hey man, if we're going to do this, I really need you to sober up. And I really I really wanted things to work out, because that was like my absolute lowest as a person. When my show ended, I felt like a massive failure.
Yeah.
And I thought that I I just was so sad, like I just was so sad. And so I thought, great, this is another opportunity to do something that's going to be fun and a lot less pressure and hopefully just a better environment for me. And then it was just more of the same shit on a long enough timeline. And I hate that because I don't want to be an e-person who leaves this like string of drama and bodies behind me. I want to be the unproblematic queen. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And I can't have it because of my stupid decisions. So
Jeremy.
yeah.
I don't know if you can divulge it, but Yellow Flashes, my boys in the chat. Do you okay, you've probably seen the crazy shit, and it's a meme, right? It's a meme that's likely true. But do you know anything about this weird situation in his personal life with this bull guy?
I don't. And I think, like I said, this to me is the sort of territory I don't want to get into because as much as I don't like Jeremy and I think he's a butthole, and I know he's going to I'm going to just say this ahead of time, he is going to lose his shit about me saying any of this. And as soon as you started this stream and I was tuning in, I was like, oh, I'm fucked. I'm fucked. And so I know. And it's probably going to be more of the spurging out and the lying and, I know he's got DMs that someone else sent him, private DMs of mine that I had with a former friend that she sent him to get at me. And I know that he's going to probably post them and it is what it is. And I don't mind explaining if that happens. And I don't mind owning crappy. That's my dog. I'm sorry. She's singing you all the song of her people. Yeah, I don't mind explaining things because I'm not infallible. I've done dumb crap that I'm not proud of. But, when you read private DMs without context and things, people then make their own decisions about what happens. So I don't mind. I'm not trying to hide anything. But as far as getting into his personal life, I'm not going there because I just think that's shitty. Other people can speculate. But for me, because again, this is a person I was friends with. Do I know things about his personal life? Yes. Does he know things about mine? Also, yes. And so I'm just, yeah, that's a bridge too far for me.
Okay. And what is your, after everything that's happened? I mean, you sounded pretty conclusive in DMs, but I might as well just ask, what is your impression of Jeremy Hambly now?
I really think he's one of these nice guy TM people who swoops in when people are at their absolute lowest. If you look at his progression of quote unquote co-hosts, they're mostly women or mostly people who he scooped up when they were having the shittest time of their life. He grabbed me up when I was coming off the back of working with the human embodiment of Caligula. And he was like, hey, do you want to come work with me and do streams with me? And I was at my lowest. He knew I was at my lowest. And I felt like, oh, someone's finally being nice to me. I think you can probably say the same about some of these other women that he's worked with, getting fired by Tim and turfed by Tim. And he came along, was like, well, let me save you. And then, that would be so noble and so wonderful if it wasn't perhaps a manipulation tactic. And I think that's what's so troublesome about this behavior is you have this nice guy who on a long enough timeline actually demonstrates to you that he actually doesn't give a fuck about you. He cares about money. And I can respect the caring about money thing if you're just open about it. If it's hey, I actually don't want to be your friend. I have no interest in, getting to know you or helping you or anything like that. I literally just want to make a shitload of money. I'd be like, fair enough. All right, let's roll. Let's make a fuck load of money. Let's do it. But to pretend that it's something else, that really bothers me, and that feels very disingenuous.
Yeah, and that's what he's been doing that a lot. He in every post he was posting a few weeks ago, he says people are betraying him, and he's been nothing but nice to everybody. He's the nicest guy in the world, right? It's
so easy to say that when you genuinely view yourself as through this savior complex, and you're not realizing that you're shivving people left, right, and center. It's mind-boggling to me that these people genuinely delude themselves into thinking they live in an alternate reality. This is why I said to you, these people are untethered from reality, and they do and say all this stuff that does not reflect actual reality. And when people go, hey, that hurt me, hey, you did a thing that sucked, rather than owning it, they go, no, just kidding, that's a you problem, and I never did that to you. And that's why, again, I feel crazy. and again, I know I'm fucked. I know I'm getting dragged in. I don't want to be dragged in. It is what it is. I did this to myself by jumping on here and talking to you. I accept my fate. But Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but like this has been eating at your mind for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And I know you're like being real nice. You're like, oh, but like you don't like this guy, and a lot of people don't like this guy, and it's for very good reason. And I don't think anybody faults you for that even a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So because he's burnt everything, and I mean he currently has co-hosts right now that are defending. Like, what do you think is the motivation for like the current co-host? Well, not all of them are defending him. They're not saying anything, but some of them are like defending him, saying everybody is lying, everything's lying, even the videos are lies. It's I tell you. Like, what is that motivation? Were you ever in that like thought process where you would do something like that, or is it just
No, absolutely not.
yeah, it's weird.
No, I think that people are very guided by money, and which again, I get it, I respect it if you're honest about it. But I think the doubling down thing is that when someone pays your bills, you're not going to shiv them, are you? Because there's no incentive for you to do that. And so I think what people are missing in this equation is no one's going to turn around and destroy their boss unless there's some material benefit to doing that. And so as much as I think it's icky, I understand, like I really get it. You know, I'm lucky enough to be independent. I have the coolest community on YouTube and I love the shit out of my people. And I'm so grateful because they back me and they know that, you know, when there's noise, they're like, well, let's just wait to hear what Sydney has to say. And I really appreciate that. But a lot of these other people don't have that.
Yeah.
And they get thrown to the wolves.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I've been talking about. One of his co-hosts right now, like they don't have a big channel. Like they don't really have a lot to fall back on. So I understand the motivation, but I also would like, you know, just say like, hey, I'm in this for a paycheck. Leave me alone. I think a lot of people would respect that, but they're not doing that. And they're going this weird avenue. And I want your opinion on this. Like, Jeremy's been doing this thing where he keeps evoking like the name of Charlie Kirk for some reason and saying that he's so thankful for religion when stuff gets really bad. Like when the Ren Fair video went viral, he was posting about how Charlie Kirk inspired him and he's so glad he's a Christian now when he was getting like a lot of heat. Like, do you think that's really disingenuous? I feel like it's really disingenuous.
Oh, absolutely. And I bitched about this privately and probably publicly too. These cultural Christians shit me to death because I think it's really wonderful if you are somebody who has some sort of enlightenment and you're like, yeah, I want to, you know, become a Christian or whatever it is for legitimate reasons. But if you're just wearing Christianity as a skin to stop people from criticizing you and you're using it as a shield, I think that's so embarrassing. And this happens so much in right-wing politics. Not that Jeremy is necessarily in right-wing politics, but he's kind of adjacent. No. I can't speak to whether or not he's a Christian or not. I don't know. Maybe he truly is. But I do find it, the timing is always so interesting to me when people come under attack for very legitimate reasons. And then their immediate turnaround is to say, oh, I'm a Christian, you can't criticize me. Oh, I read my Bible and I go to church. Okay, bitch, then act like a Christian. And stop this silliness on the internet and actually act like a Christian.
Yeah, 100%. It's insane. And that's kind of what he's been doing. And just getting drunk and lying. And I think like you have a lot of experience with that.
Oh, I do.
And I do want you to, I know it's, you know, a lot of people are asking like, is there a part of you or a large part of you or a small part of you that's like legitimately kind of afraid of Jeremy, do you think?
That's a really good question. I'm going to say yes. I hate this about myself. I said this when I made my Elijah Schaefer video. This is one of the worst characteristics I have, and I have a couple really bad characteristics, but one of them is I minimize myself because I don't want the drama. And I somehow, I don't know. I know that it's kind of silly to say because I've been in 2 back-to-back drama situations where I've then, you know, had to wait years to be able to have my say and to be like, hey, you know, this is actually how it went down, or at least this was how I interpreted things. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'm fearful from the perspective that people know that I don't want to be involved and they know I probably won't say anything. And so it kind of gives them license to come at me a lot. And because I don't also want to burden my people, my audience, my viewers with drama, so I just stay out of it. And that actually eats at me. Yeah.
No, I totally get it because it's like an overthinking thing. Well, and I told you this in DMs, but I think it's very, very important, and it is hard to like convince yourself. It's an easier said than done thing, right? But
Yeah.
I don't think Jeremy has any power. I think he likes to pretend like he does, especially not right now. I think people really, really respect the fact that you're just here. I mean, Shoe on Heads in the chat, she said we love you.
Oh, I love Shu. She's so cute.
And there's obviously always going to be trolls and whatnot, but I don't think Jeremy has any power. I think all of his power is through threat.
Well,
you know
what? Actually, the one thing he could come at me with, I'm just going to actually rip the Band-Aid off. This was my shitty behavior during the Publica thing. So, Jeremy, I'm taking this out of your arsenal. So one of the things he's threatened me with is that a girl I formerly worked with, things didn't go well. We had a fallout. I won't name her because I don't think she wants to be associated with any of this. Fair enough. She leaked a bunch of private chats to him where I trashed the shit out of him. And I want that to be really clear. I said some not nice stuff. Because at the time, I was like, fuck this guy. He's making my life hard. He tried to murder my company right as it was trying to get out of the crib. I was like, fuck this guy. So yeah, I was a bitch. I was a very, very nasty person in DMs to friends of mine, just by the way, just mates of mine that I trusted implicitly. Well, silly me, I guess. And right there at the end, and this is the minimizing myself thing, he was calling me. Oh, sorry, I'm walking and I'm stressed. I have to sit. Okay. I think people think I'm this like larger than life person, but I'm actually not. This like is stressing me out. I have to sit down because I'm getting out of breath. Okay. Okay, so so DMs were leaked to him, and when the Publica was ending, one of the things that we wanted to do, because I love the team, we had all these writers and content creators, and they were great people, and so they relied on the Publica for jobs, right? And so the girl that I was working with was like, hey, I don't think we can kill this because then we're putting 10 people out of work, which is horrible. That's a really, really horrible place to be. So I, behind the scenes, was trying to find an investor, going really hard, just like, okay, I called everybody that I knew who could possibly connect me with an investor. I ended up meeting somebody just by chance at an event. And he was like, yeah, I'll help you fundraise to start a new project. And so at this point, Jeremy was constantly calling me going, oh, you owe me hundreds of thousands of dollars for this website. And I was so stressed out. I was in the middle of this lawsuit. I was in a weird place financially. Like I definitely didn't have a ton of money, but and I was working for free so freaking much and not getting paid, which is, again, it's fine. It's a business. I get it. But I was not getting paid. So I had no money, or very little money, I should say. I wasn't earning as much as I could have been. And so I said to him, I made out like my financial position was worse than it was in order to extricate myself. I wanted him to feel bad, and I wanted him to be like, oh, I'm doing her a favor. I get to wear my nice guy hat and let her go from this project. And he did. And he did. And, I know that's manipulative and I know that's shitty, but that's the thing that's been eating at me that I don't want him to expose. I totally did that because I wanted out, and I wanted this person to stop harassing me and calling me and stop telling me that I owed him hundreds of thousands of dollars when I'd been doing all this free work and, trying to coordinate and trying to get this thing off the ground. And so I was like, yeah, dude, my situation sucks. I'm super impoverished. Please release me. And he was like, yeah, I'll hold on to the company. And, you can buy me out at a later stage when you're in a better financial position. And I was like, and you know what? Honestly, I probably would have done that if we hadn't have been working on a different company already.
Right. And that's the thing is, like, I think she in the chat or said something similar. I don't think those DMs would even matter because here's the issue. Like, he's harassing you for money, like all the time. And he's also not paying you as much as you should be paid.
No, he didn't pay me at all. That's the thing. Didn't pay me a single red cent. And so, it's embarrassing to admit because I don't want to be an untrustworthy person, but that is one of the shittier things I've done. And it was just largely because I was talking to my friends behind the scenes, one of whom actually was in a very abusive marriage. She left, and I said, this is the person I'm working with. I don't trust him to not flip the fuck out and go off at me publicly, because obviously, in this silly game of internet, whatever that we're doing, it is imperative that you don't misstep and do horrible crap that makes people hate your guts. It makes it very hard to do this. And so I was terrified that if I just simply said to him, I want out, I can't pay you this random ass sum of money that you're talking about, he would attack me and he'd come at me. And I was genuinely fearful of that. So she said, one of the things you probably could do here that would help you get out of this situation is minimize yourself, be a baby person, be a victim, and allow him to rescue you. And I thought, well, that's embarrassing as shit, but all right, I'm going to do it. And then I got a bloody DM from somebody because he'd obviously been talking to people about it. And I got a bloody DM from someone and they said, oh, I hear you're in financial hardship. And I was like, oh my God, even if this was true and I was as impoverished as I'd made out, I was like, you're telling people that? What's wrong with you?
Yeah. When you're saying that, like, you owe him money and you're afraid of what he's going to say or what he's going to, do you feel like you were like in a blackmail situation?
I feel like I was being, pushed into a corner.
Yeah.
It was mad because I got where he was coming from saying, I'm funding this thing. I want to see something for it. But I also kept thinking to myself, that's fine, mate, but you got to bloody turn up and actually freaking contribute. Like, what the hell do you mean you're just going to bitch at me privately, call me drunk, say all this crazy shit, tell me that you're going to pull the plug on 10 people's jobs, which would have been horrific, just by the way. And then you're going to spread it was such a clusterfuck. And like, again, I don't want to be a person that people associate with horrible, manipulative, shitty behavior. But I mean, I suppose if I've got to own it, I've got to own it. Yep. Totally had to minimize myself to get out of that bloody situation. And I'm sad that it didn't work out because I actually think we had something really cool brewing. But at the end of the day, it's like, I can't work with people like that. It's just awful.
I mean, he's a, and for lack of a better phrase, and I've been talking about it for a while, like, he's a pretty bad person. He's a pretty shitty person. I don't think anybody sees you as a bad guy in any way, shape, or form in this situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've definitely tried my absolute best to not be a fuckwit, in my time on the internet. I've misstepped. I've definitely stepped in some potholes and acted like a complete moron from time to time. But, I think a lot of the people who are content creators who know me and who are watching this, even if we've, had conflict or whatever at some point, I think a lot of them would be like, yes, it's all right. And that's what I want people to feel and think. I don't want to be somebody that gets associated with lying and dishonesty and shittiness, because if that's going to be my mark in the world, that sucks. No, thank you. And so to be associated with somebody who's kind of built this brand on, like I said, nice guy TM, like, okay, dude, but is actually kind of hurting people, not physically, but, hurting people in financial ways or threatening them. And I mean, like, the dude was threatening to sue me over this $100,000 or 200, whatever the hell number he's pulling out of his butt. He was threatening to sue me over all this. And I'm thinking, this is so unhinged, bro. Like, do you not understand that the amount of work that I did for free because I wanted this thing to succeed? Meanwhile, you're just, flopping around like a fish on a deck and not contributing. I was like, oh, you are out of your bloody mind.
Well, he just wanted he wanted the money like he got from the team thing. Like, he just wanted the more money.
Yeah. Well, he was always intensely I think perhaps intensely jealous of Tim Pool, because Tim's memberships on his website are quite high, from my understanding.
Right.
And Jeremy was like, hey, man, we can like achieve this and make a shitload of money a month. And again, I've just come out of a situation where I had a really nice paycheck that's now gone. And I'm going, oh, shit. And I just moved into a house to be closer to the company I was working for. And now I'm living in this house with a rent that I somewhat can't pay. And so, to have this person be like, oh, let's do all these things and let's make all this money. I was like, that sounds awesome. But, failing to realize that to actually get to Tim Pool level of membership and content and members only content, you really got to put in the time. That's a full-time job.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on Timcast a bunch, and that is like some high level shit out there. I mean, I'm sure you've been over there, but like, would you say, like, I've heard this a lot, like, would you say that like TheQuartering is kind of like obsessed with the level of Tim Pool or Tim Pool himself or something?
Yeah, I would say that he's definitely got a bee in his bonnet about Tim, and like, I don't know why, because I don't think he even registers to Tim.
Yeah, for sure.
It's that meme. I don't know what movie it's from, but there's like a scene. It's an older bloke, and he's like, "I don't think about you at all."
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. Look, at the end of the day, I mean, I didn't want this to turn into like a Sydney bashing Jeremy fest, but I think like this is similar to how I felt about all the Elijah Schaffer stuff. I have held on to so much for years and years and years. And the irony for me is literally just this afternoon, someone was like, someone tweeted at me and they said, Sydney, are you ever going to talk about the Jeremy thing? And I was like, probably not. There's nothing that I can say that hasn't already been said. And here I am like an absolute schmuck.
6 hours later. No.
So I own that. You know, people are going to be like, oh, she tweeted this and then immediately talked. Yeah, I know. I guess that when you messaged me, and a couple of the other boys who have DM'd me about this, you know, and we've talked a little bit, they'll, you know, be able to testify that it's just, I'm just frustrated because people have been talking about me a lot, and it's the same thing with, you know, the Elijah stuff. It weighs on you for years and years and years. Everybody talks around you and you don't say anything because you just don't want to be involved. But then these narratives transform about you, these narratives pop up, and, you know, I don't want anybody to think, when you said to me, oh, I thought you not talking meant that you were buddies, I was like, yeah, we're not doing that. Nope, we're not doing that.
Yeah. I have did you, I don't know why this is like a meme, but were you ever required to sign an NDA or currently under one?
No, I think that was an accidental miscommunication on my part with Warski, because I was like, oh, the Kino Casino boys have been talking about Elijah Schaffer, and someone was like, oh, they asked if you would come on and talk about it, and I DM'd Warski and I was like, hey, I'm like NDA'd to shit on that front, so like, sorry, I'm not able to talk. And then directly afterwards I said something about TheQuartering, I think, and there was a bit of a miscommunication there. So no, I've never signed an NDA. Jeremy's never asked me to sign an NDA. The only NDA I have is with my former employer.
Okay, and I have a burning ass question that I've been thinking about this whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, this is kind of weirdly unrelated, but do you have any like rough idea where his like coffee company, if it exists or if it's located anywhere? Do you know?
I know. Yes and no. I know that's so unhelpful. I don't know a ton about their operations. What I only know is from the 3PL vantage point. And for people who are not familiar with that stupid terminology, a 3PL is a fulfillment center.
Right.
Fulfillment center being someone who makes your boxes, packs your product, blah, 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 sends it out, whatever. So I do know that he has a warehouse, which, by the way, I don't think it's anything to be, you know, embarrassed about or to make fun of him for. Like, putting aside him being a crappy human being, like, you know, if the dude's been able to buy a warehouse because his company's doing well, I think that's actually really cool. So he does have a warehouse. I know he has some staff. I know he has an overseer of the sorry if you can hear weird breathing. My dog is sitting beside me getting a head rub. I know he has a manager who runs the 3PL. I don't know how many employees they have, but he does his own fulfillment. Again, I don't know if that's how he was presenting it to me, as in, oh, I do my own fulfillment, but in actuality, it's some other company he's contracted, or if they're really under his umbrella. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they do genuinely work for him, because I think the company does quite well.
Okay, yeah, because the reason people were always confused is because he says he sources the beans personally in the personal batches, like the flavoring. He does, like, he sources all personally. I'm like, I don't see him going down there and doing that.
No, I mean, like, here's the thing. I'll say this. I mean, tea's a little bit different, and the way that I do my tea is a little bit different, but it is very hard to source product like that, and especially to do that well. A lot of this stuff is a full-time job, and that's why I was saying to you in DMs, you know, a lot of YouTubers do utilize third parties to do basically everything, and that's not how I would want to run a business, because you have no control over what you're doing. But if that's how other people want to, that's up to them. I think they should disclose that to their people. So I think it's just bullshit to say that you're hand sourcing stuff that you're obviously not. And I think it's also fine to start off white labeling stuff, because then, you know, I don't know how it works in coffee land, but my supplier, they do a little bit of coffee, and I've asked her about it, and she was like, oh yeah, you know, we do beans for people, and like we can do different kinds of beans and different roasts and all that kind of stuff, so that you do have some control over that. But yeah, there's no way like you're hand sourcing bloody beans. You're going to some company who makes the beans and you're saying put them in the bag, and they go, okay, we put them in the bag, and that's how that goes.
Right. And I think that was like, do you think you should disclose where, like, for some reason you won't disclose that it exists or where it is, or like the FDA is involved? It's getting really weird. And I don't know why he's like letting it all fall to the wayside, you know?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what people's expectations here are, because then the thing would be, oh, Sydney, disclose who your blender is. And I'm never going to do that, because that's, well, that's not, I don't think that's any, maybe it is people's business. I don't know, actually, that's a good question. But I'm probably never going to disclose that. Not because I'm trying to hide anything, but just because she probably doesn't want me to. Honestly, she probably doesn't want to be associated with any of this.
Right.
But I don't know. This is so hard for me, because I get it from a business perspective, why people white label, or why, you know, maybe he started off white labeling and then he bought the company. Like, I don't know. But I think people maybe are slightly jumping onto things that they don't have enough information about there. But to be fair with you, I don't have enough information, so I can't comment. And that's actually, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually, I mean, and that's actually fine. The issue is like, people were like, what is this coffee? And he was basically implying he was making it himself and had some employees that were making it. And then he was doing everything, you know, from that standpoint.
He may have acquired the company. He may, like I said, he may have white labeled and then acquired the company. He may have done, but it's a big operation, you know, to like acquire beans. It's because all of them come from international farms, and there's a lot of stuff there, like a lot of stuff. Because this year I was like, okay, cool. Well, I really want to bring my manufacturing in-house and do all of my own sourcing for all my own tea leaves and not work with a blender and do all this myself, which is a lot of work. Yeah. And then I started looking at it and I was like, oh, geez, like you need all sorts of government it's a lot. Yeah.
The reason I think people have a big issue with it, Madam Sabby brings it up in the chat. There's no information on like allergen info. That's why like the FDA and stuff is starting to get like privy to it, because there could be allergies based on the flavor. The flavor of coffee needs to be on there, and it's not on there. And there's, you know, people could be getting in a really rough. You know, I'm allergic to shellfish. If there was some shellfish or some coffee, my ass is fucked. It better say it on the bag. You know what I'm saying?
Oh so. Yeah. Well, see, and this is a thing. Like, I think I'm slightly behind on this. Again, the only thing I can reckon this with is my tea business, because it's sort of similar. I am very express. It's so funny. A lot of companies just do natural flavors when they have additives. I list out, probably to my own detriment, but I want to be upfront with people. I list out exactly the flavorings that we have. And then if people have additional questions, because like, to be clear, everybody who's listening about tea, I know everybody's in this like Maha thing, and I so respect the shit out of it, but it's really hard to capture some flavors without doing artificial flavor, especially like people who buy from me, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot give you a root beer flavor without root beer flavoring. Like, I'm sorry, I would love to, but I don't know how to do that, and I don't even think I can. So you want to disclose that kind of thing just from a standpoint of, you know, like you said, if there's an additive in there that someone can't have, you want them to be really clear about it. And so, yeah, that is 100% a thing that if he's not doing that, he should be doing that. But a lot of companies don't, and they assume that they're not going to get sued, and they probably won't.
Yeah, I completely agree. I have a question that I was thinking about. What if, a lot of people are like waiting patiently for the people directly involved with Jeremy, like, you know, like Melanie and like Hannah Claire, like to say something. Yeah, exactly. What would be your advice, like with your experience, what would be your advice to them? Like because you know, stuff's the bridges will be burned eventually. That's just how these things work with Jeremy. So like, what would be your advice to them, you think?
I think it's hard because with these kind of people, like I said to you before, it's a mutually assured destruction thing. I'm sure you know some stuff about them that they don't want public. And, you know, to be fair, when you're an internet person or you have a bit of a following, there's a lot of stuff about your life that you want to keep private, and there's nothing wrong with that. The trouble, though, is when that gets utilized as ammunition against you. And so I think there's an unspoken thing in political media, especially, and I'm going to lump them in with political media because they are kind of political. Right. There's an unspoken thing where you know that if you want to say something about your situation, someone's going to be on the other side of that hill slinging shit back at you, basically. So that's why I know I said to you, like, I'm fucked. Like, I know that, and that's okay. I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm like the most boring person in the world. I don't have anything to hide. But I know that it puts a target on my back, and it'll be the same thing for them. There's stuff that's probably gone on, things that have happened that they're like, yo, I don't want this out there. And when you're dealing with people who don't have any moral boundaries, They don't care what they throw at you. They so want to get knee deep in the bloody mud and chuck as much shit at you as they can, even if they're taking a hammering as well, because they just want to take you down. So I know that these girls are probably going to leave this situation and say nothing. And there's nothing I can say that would change their mind about that.
Right. No, I agree. It's people are getting caught up in like an absolute shitstorm right now because of it. Like there was a stream yesterday that was a freaking shitstorm, and everybody's trying to give everybody advice, and no one's following the advice. And it's very, very strange. And what do you think Jeremy should do? Like, do you think what should he like take a break? Should he go to rehab?
Yeah.
He should go to rehab immediately and like get the hell out.
Yeah, he should get sober. That's what he should do. Yeah. He should get sober, and he should focus on his own shit and less on other people's. The thing crazy to me, and I don't know if anybody else has pointed this out, because full disclosure, I love a lot of the people who've been involved in this. They've always been super sweet to me, and so I got no drama with anybody these days, thank the Lord. But I think that like what's so interesting to me about Jeremy, and you know, with the way he's been attacked and everybody's been coming at him, is there's a massive parallel here to the way that he went at Jack Murphy. And I actually said to him at one point during the Jack Murphy stuff, I was like, you need to lay off, because this guy's going to kill himself and it's going to be my fault. And I won't be able to live with myself. So please lay off. Right. And it's interesting because I don't want to add to the shit that Jeremy's in right now. As much as I'm angry and I don't like him, I don't want to add to it, because these are human beings. This is, I think, where I'm such a bitch, because I just empathize. I empathize and I hate it. It's so Cancerian, but I empathize and I go, I would hate being in that position, even though you brought it on yourself. Like, It's crazy, because Jack Murphy was the same thing. He screams at me on a show. People are like, what the heck? They go after him and then they hammer him, and they hammer and they hammer and they hammer. And I'm going, holy shit, this guy's going to die. And it's going to be awful. And that's kind of how I feel about Jeremy right now, is I'm like, you need to get off the internet, bro, because you're just going to make it worse. But he can't, you see, because his income's tied to it.
Yeah, he's upset, and I think he's just really obsessed with affirmation. Like he just has to be here and has to be here, and not only with his Rumble deal or whatnot, he has to stream. And I don't really, to be honest, I don't think he's a streamer. To be fair, I don't think he is. But
streaming's hard. I don't know how you guys do it. I always think to myself, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to read. I really respect the streaming, because you guys just kind of talk and talk and talk and talk. I know I'm doing a lot of talking right now, and I'm sorry to everybody. I'm sure people are not wanting to listen to like 2 hours of Sydney having a bloody pity party, but I never get to talk about any of this because I'm so fearful of getting my head kicked in. So now everyone knows I'm a giant bitch. Woo-hoo.
Well, a burning question. What did you think about every time Jeremy would randomly bring up his like shitting stories? What was that about?
I think that when people have shame around an issue, they like to talk about it, which is so weird.
So you think it's like a weird kink of his, like a weird shit kink?
No, I don't think it's a kink. I think it's like a thing that he probably wants to be out there so that it makes him feel less bad about it. Like he can make a joke out of it.
Yeah.
Because it's actually like a sore point for him. Yeah, again, like I don't know any information about kinks or fetishes or any weird crap like that. Thank God.
I just know they're weird. That's all I know.
Yeah.
That's strange. I don't like it. And that's the thing. You alluded to this with Jack Murphy. People keep hammering. The issue with Jeremy is like you don't have to look under the hood too far to just see everything. And he is complaining people are going after his wife, but he talks about his wife on like every single stream, and then he says he's getting harassed, but then he posts a picture of his wife that day on YouTube that they're hanging out, and I'm like, what are we doing here? Right? You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't. You wouldn't do that.
To use a marriage as a shield is another thing I have a massive problem with, because when we have partners who are not involved, and I'll say this, like sometimes I tweet about Tex and boyfriend because he's funny as shit and I think he's hilarious and I like, talking about the weird crap that we do. But I would never utilize him as some like weird shield on the internet so that people can't criticize me. To do that to a party who's not online, not involved, that's always rubbed me the wrong way, especially to use it to shit on some of the women who, I don't know how people feel about like Lauren Southern, for example, or, Hillary Crowder's a really good friend of mine. Jeremy's gone at both of these women and then uses the marriage thing. Oh, your marriage fell apart, blah, 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 but I'm still married. Like, ew, dude, ew. What are you doing?
Yeah, he just uses it as a shield for everything.
Yes. And it's bizarre because this woman's not online. She's not an e-personality. And just by the way, sorry, I think my dog is screaming again. Apologies, everybody.
That's
But
all
yeah,
good.
to utilize this just seems, it's very icky to me. I don't like that.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I think Jeremy's would you consider this is going to be pretty pointed. Would you consider Jeremy like a predator? I do. I can say that all day. What do you think?
Predator. I mean, I know I called him a predator in DMs to you. I was just mad. Predators I think some predatory behavior has absolutely taken place. Yes. Whether or not he himself is like, a full predator, I don't know.
A fool. He's at least like 3/4.
Yeah, I mean, the dude has done some weird shit. And like some of the things that I've seen in streams or some, I guess my own experiences, it's like, this is not the behavior of a married man. Like, you don't act like this towards women. You don't sit at a bloody fair and behave the way that you're behaving towards women and children. Like, it's icky and it's not acceptable. And so, yeah, I find it predatory. I am nervous to wholesale call someone predator. But I've worked with them. Like, everybody knows, like, my former co-host did a lot of really predatory stuff as well. And I would probably term him as a predator. So, I think that this behavior is so common.
We still alive? The audio. Oh, you're back. You back?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, you're good. Yeah.
Just
Sorry.
me monologuing.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I completely agree. I think he's a full-on predator. I just see that. I've met, when I was growing up, I've met people that I do not associate with anymore because I've seen like the way they act. And I 100% get that vibe from Jeremy. Like 100, I have no problem fucking me like, yeah, predator, 100%, gross, disgusting predator. And I think everybody can agree. Is there any other situation that you've had in the past that just really irks you about Jeremy that like we don't know really?
No, I think we've covered it all. Like, I got a pretty long fuse for most people. I'm willing to give people the benefit of the doubt. So the major things that have really fucked me off about his behavior are ones that we've covered here. I want to give someone like Jeremy initially the benefit of the doubt, because especially when you kind of get involved with people in a work sense, you want to see the best in them. But crippling my baby company.
Oh, I think you muted yourself. Maybe. There you go.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, every time my screen turns off, maybe it's okay. You got me?
Yep.
Okay, I got to stop pacing. Like I said, I'm stressed. I pace when I'm stressed. I don't know if anybody else does that on the phone, but I feel like I'm on a phone call. So I'm pacing in my kitchen.
Right.
But I'm going to get sat now so I don't disappear again. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, there's nothing I can think of. To be fair, I've probably blocked a lot of stuff out because I don't want to live in this moment. But in a way, it feels kind of all right to just like have my say, have all this information out there. And if people, they'll make up their own minds about things. The one thing I will say is that I don't make claims that I can't back up. So I hate the fact that, people are going to assume that I record all the calls that I have with people, but I don't. I've only done it with Jeremy and only towards the end of our working relationship. So like, can I back up stuff here? Yes, I have recordings that, like I said, I'm not going to give them to anybody. They were for me to play back to myself. I have DMs that or messages that he has sent me that I can back up some of this stuff too. So I don't make claims that I can't back up.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a reason why you recorded those. Is you were feeling like
gaslit and insane.
Yeah, some kind of way about him.
Yeah, I was, and I want this to be really clear. I don't want to be the sort of person that other people don't trust, where they're like, oh, Sydney's going to record me. No, I don't do that. The only reason this happened was because the bloke would get drunk, call me, say stuff to me, and then walk it back the next day. And when this happens to you enough times, you go, am I insane or are you lying? And so, yeah, I recorded them because I wanted them to listen to back and be like, okay, it's not me. He literally said that.
Yeah. Well, that's good though. That's good. Did you watch the June the King documentary by any chance?
I started it, but 3 hours, man, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's long. I watched the whole damn thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it in segments. I got 30 minutes in, and I only got through the first. I have all the freaking toys and stuff. What was the cars? Was that what he was
And the
doing?
RC cars and all that.
Yeah, yeah. So I got to that bit, and then I was like, oh, I gotta go do some stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's pretty rough stuff, but I think everybody can agree that Jeremy's a terrible person, and the truth about all these things, like that we haven't really elaborated on yet, I think they're all coming, and I do hope that he jumps off the internet. Now, I will say that he does give us a lot of stuff to talk about, so at least there's that, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, this is good for all you lads, you know, that are on this and across it. This is probably the only time I'm actually going to say anything, and
Right.
I really hope this stream does so well for you. I hope you make lots of doll hairs. And I hope that, you know, people get some additional information about this from me and from my vantage point. I just sincerely don't want to be involved any further than this because I feel like I've just finally become drama free for the most part. And now I just want to stay there. You know, I just got bees. I'm a bee mom. I want to go hang out with my bees, and that's what I want to do.
Right. No, I think everybody is really happy that you at least spoke on it and you at least said your piece. And because everybody's like, no one's saying anything. And that's why they were so mad at the stream the other day with Melanie Mack, because nothing's been said. And I think people really respect that. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think you have anything to worry about as far as Jeremy at all. I think he's a big ass bitch, to be honest. I think he's a bitch. So I don't think you have anything to worry about there, you know?
Well, again, I mean, I'm kind of showing him some grace by being like, yo, dude, I'm not going to go ham at you and like expose stuff that would make a lot of this shit make sense. I'm not going to do that because I think it's crappy. And I'm not going to speak on things I don't know about and assume. And I really expect that I expect that courtesy to be given back to me. Because again, there's nothing that I'm afraid of. It's just personal stuff about my life. You know, my partner, he's a regular human being. I don't want people coming at him. I don't want anybody to like mess with the guy. And it's just shit like that where I'm like, hey man, like you can attack me all day long, whatever, but leave my family or my loved ones out of it, you know?
Yeah. I agree. No, I completely agree. Hypothetically, if Jeremy goes like scorched earth, is that something you would consider as going scorched earth back at his ass?
No, because I think that I like I said, I've said what I needed to say. I've gotten my piece out there. That's all I wanted. If he goes scorched earth, I'm not really sure what that would look like. I don't think I've done anything outside of the, you know, somewhat manipulating him into letting me out of the situation by, you know, making myself a little bit smaller than I am.
Right.
That's the thing I'm the most embarrassed about because that's really not a Sydney characteristic, but I just took advice from friends who were like, here's how you get out without this person nuking you. And I was like, sick, okay, I will do that. And I don't think that's like the greatest behavior, but I just wanted to extricate myself. That's the worst thing I think I've done. I fucking pissed on him in DMs to friends. If he wants to post them, go right on ahead, Jeremy. I definitely made a bunch of jokes about being a feminist. I don't care anymore. Like, I don't care. Like, it is what it is. And I think it's shitty to share DMs as a rule, you know. Even when I made my Elijah Schaefer video, I asked every single person whose DMs I shared, bar one, because we don't have a relationship and I don't even think I had his phone number. But I asked every person because I was like, if I'm going to share DMs and back up what I'm saying, I want, you know, people to give me, I want people to give me their consent. I have this dude blocked on everything. So I don't know, outside of calling me from a random ass number, I guess he can't ask for my permission to post mean DMs that I sent my friends about him. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about him. He's just a big ass bitch, and he just likes to threaten people. It's just that's what he likes to do. He likes to threaten people, and that's about it. That's as far as he seems like he goes, is he just threatens, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll say this, you know, there's a lot of really nice internet people, but I think that this sort of behavior is really common. This sort of like lying and being deceitful and kind of being a shitty person. It's kind of a tenet of a lot of internet humans, and you don't know who they are until you know who they are. And usually at that point, it's because they've done something to you.
Yep.
I think it's really unfortunate the way that all this is played out with Jeremy. I sincerely wish that he and I had never crossed one another in this capacity. I wish that things had quietly faded away and I didn't have this stuff to say about him, because it's not fun. It's not like this is fun for me. I get it's fun for everybody else because, you know, it's kind of like, you know, you get to clown on someone that you don't like. But for me, I'm sure everybody can hear it. You know, I'm stressed out. Like, this is super stressful because I just want to make my content and be left alone. But it does feel good to have my say. It feels so good to apparently to fix this random lie about me getting $250,000, which is psychotic. I wish I had $250,000.
Same. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm sure there's other stuff that you can tell me that he said that I can be like, no, that never happened. But that one is crazy. I'm glad that people know that's not true.
Yeah, that was the biggest one. Is he loved to brag that he gave you $250,000.
He never did. I don't even. Where do you pull that?
I don't know. He just said it on camera, you know. And then he said you talked shit about him, and then and he was mad about it because
I did talk shit. Yep, I totally talk shit.
That's fine. He deserves to be shit on. Let's be honest. You know.
The other thing though is don't we all talk shit about people we don't like with our friends?
Yeah. Fuck them.
Yeah, that's crazy. If you paid me $250,000, bro, produce the receipts.
Yeah, he won't be doing that. He'll just block everybody and then delete everything again.
Produce the receipts, bro.
Yeah, he's not gonna do it. You know. So I don't think so. Yeah.
Well, this kind of makes sense because when he was threatening to sue me, he was like, "You owe me all this money," and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
I told you, untethered from reality.
Did he ever go any further on that, or did he just say, "Hey, I'm going to sue you"? Is that what he said?
Well, this was so weird. He sent me this bloody message, and he was like, oh God, I like read it briefly, and then I was like, "What is this?" It was basically he'd said, "Sorry, my puppies again." He'd sent me this message. And he was like, "I'm just giving you a heads up that my lawyer is preparing documents to sue you," or something along those lines. "And I'm giving you the opportunity to come up basically with a payment plan to pay me back, blah, 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 blah." And I was like, what? Oh, this is weird, man. Like when you're suing somebody, you don't tell them. You just do it.
Yeah, 100%. No, I completely agree. But no, yep, he's bad. He's bad, and I really appreciate you coming on and saying your piece because I didn't really expect it. I just messaged you, and
I think I was just getting scared because like you were so cute when you were reading my messages, but you were taking some liberties that I was like, shit. Like I want to be accurate in what I've said to you. Like I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying and then take that and run with it. I want to be really clear. Like, he's never threatened my partner. He's only ever threatened to release messages and to sue me. I don't know if his stuff is drop shipped. I don't know. I think those were the only primary two that I was like, oh, come on, no, please don't do that.
Right. No. But it's all good. I'm glad you clarified. I'm glad you said your piece. And I'm going to go ahead and read my super chats now and read anybody's questions. So you're free to leave, and I'll message you or anything if I have any updates for you. But I really, really appreciate it. And I think a lot of people really, really appreciate you speaking on it because no one's spoke on it yet. And somebody just wants to know, like why is everybody afraid, or is everybody afraid, or is it all a conspiracy, right? So I think that everybody appreciates that.
Yeah, no worries. And again, I know I look like a schmuck because earlier today I said I wouldn't comment on this, and here I am. But just so everybody knows, my motivation is really because I want to clear the deck. Now everybody has my side of the story via you and also via me. And I would have a little bit of, again, this is the empathetic bitch baby side of me, but I would have a little bit of empathy for the people that are working with him because yes, they're culpable. But when money is involved and when your income is tied to a person, you will do stupid things in order to not be impoverished. And there's a lot of small, when you're a big creator, you can just kind of go on your merry way and do your own thing. When you're small, that's a lot harder to bounce back. Yeah. So I do have a level of empathy. I do think these girly pops are a little bit, they're being a little bit silly, but that's okay. When you're in the throes of it, you do not see the forest from the trees. You just don't. And so it's when you get out of it that you're like, wow, I was a dumbass. So that's what I will leave you on. I hope that this answers questions. Obviously, I know a bunch of creators are going to be in my DMs. Feel free to message me. I already see them popping up. Hello, everyone. but yeah, if there's any questions that people want answered, just send me a message, because your girl actually is working on a video for tomorrow. So I'm going to love you and leave you. Thanks everybody for listening.
Thank you, Sydney. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, man. Have a wonderful rest of your stream.
Thank you. Thank you, Sydney.
Yeah.
All right, bye. Oh God, I thought she was gonna say bye, and I took a drink. All right, boys. Thank you. Look, good dudes. That was a big deal. It was a really, really big deal for her to come on and like kind of say her piece and be honest, which is I don't think anybody's got in a long time. And I know people like want to hear some crazy shit like, what's the bull? Where's the bull? Show me the bull. Drop the bull files. I totally get it. But I respect the hell out of her coming out on and saying her piece and doing it in a respectful way. So thank you, Sydney, for that. For giving us a little bit of info there and helping us out there. And we're going to continue going. Actually, I do need to, I know Casino's started, so I need to let you guys, I know you guys want to watch it, so I appreciate you guys so much. But let me read these supers real quick, because I know they stack the hell up. I really appreciate you. And a big shout out to Sydney again. We appreciate you coming on and hanging out. Thank you. Let me go down. Boop, 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 boop. Oh my God, there's too many. This activity feed is terrible for Kick. It's so little. Can I pop it out? I can totally pop it out. Oh my giggity God. All right, cool. Let's do that. All right. Give me some bees on Kick. I appreciate you guys. I know you guys wanted some more crazy damning info, but you know, it's real relationships and just saying her piece. So I asked all the questions I saw in chat popping up as hard as I could. The bull one, I was like, come on, where's the bull? Because Yellow Flash is asking, let's show us the bull. I was like, all right, we'll ask about the bull. Billy says, Cuck and Bull, branded coffee where everything's hand-picked, has a special flavor and everything. Billy, what you weird ass motherfucker. Ben Ryder says, Cody Cecil and his chat just didn't get it. Please talk to him and explain why this is such a big deal. He thinks Chrissy's being justly targeted. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. I've talked to Cecil a little bit about it, Chrissy just she fucked up real good. And on her stream afterwards, she should have just been like, yeah, I fucked up. I lied about everything. And then just read the super chats that were calling her a fuck up, and then let Venti. Well, she just should have admitted that she lied. I don't know why she had a problem. She she admitted she lied by not admitting either of the answers were correct. So like, just say you lied. Who cares? Like that's all people want to hear is like, I lied. I just wanted views. Like, you know what I'm saying? 420 Funny says, let's fucking go. What, buddy? How you doing, buddy? Thank you, Kino. Gabriel Knight says the quartering thing is fractured the side of YouTube worse than Eric Gillette versus Confiscate and Nick Ricada combined. Yeah, I mean, it's been a big deal. It's been a big ass deal. MLS Making Law Sybil says third strikes are the worst. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Llama said, do you think Jeremy cleans up after the bull? Oh, God. Yellow Flash, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Ashes Suffer Citrus. Thank you, buddy. War of Wizard says, for the inevitable drunken crash outside. Oh, yeah. Strike. Yeah. You guys got to understand that the fact that Sydney's even talking is going to make Jeremy go absolutely batshit insane. It's going to happen. Okay. So, because no one knew about the fact that he robbed her blind by charging her 5 times the amount for her tea when he did fulfillment and then just took the money. Come on, take the money and run. Right. No one knew. Well, I guess they maybe had an idea that he completely lied about giving her $250,000. Like, why does he keep saying that? And then he threatens to sue her with and she even admitted herself. It kind of, felt a little blackmail-y, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff there. Thank you, War Wizard. Appreciate it. He said he would fight a guy over Sydney for some reason, right? Gonna fight a guy over. What the fuck are we talking about? He's the nice guy. He's gonna save her. He's gonna save her. MSC says baptism by fireball. He's gonna save her, guys. Don't worry, he's totally gonna save her. Fu Manchu called it. Ben calling it. I'm undefeated. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Welcome back, James. How you doing, buddy? Marcel, thank you, buddy. Billy says I think him being banned from the Repair for Life is what pissed him off. Oh, the Ren Fair, yeah, good for them to spy on the marriage. Yeah, the Ren Fair thing was absolutely beautiful. And I'm glad it happened. Bob Dobbs says, envy, drunkenness, orgies, and things like these. I warn you, as I warned you before, that those who do such things will not inherit the kingdom of God. I guarantee you, Jeremy's never heard that before. Alan Jones says, how was your weekend? Oh my God. Earlier on Jeremy's stream, he said, how was your weekend? And he caught himself. And then he said, I accidentally closed the chat. So he couldn't see everybody being like, what the fuck? You banned me for saying that. You're allowed to say it? What the hell? He accidentally skipped and went back into old Jeremy mode, you know. Buster Brown says straight stunting on Pooh Jerry. How you doing, buddy? Frostfang. Yet somehow JDA thinks we're the cancel mob to them. JDA. I think I've seen that name. That sounds familiar. MLS says it didn't happen unless we hear the recordings. Release the recording. Thank you, MLS. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Badger Toes says I'm on his Xanax and opiates due to the cancer damage. I drink, but I have friends. I don't spurg out like this. Well, I think the cocktail depends on your susceptibility to certain personality traits, right? Not everybody does it, right? Like some people drink whiskey and they immediately want to punch people. Some people just sit there and laugh when they drink whiskey. Depends on who you are, right? Badger Toes. Pixie Hayes. Thanks for this. Thank you, Pixie Hayes. Appreciate you, baby. Daniel Robertson says, was hoping to get a reaction of Jeremy today, but unfortunately all he did was delete my comment and block me. Yeah, well, that was a goated ass comment. You said you wanted seconds on his wife or something. I thought that was pretty funny. Pretty fucked up, but it's pretty funny too. Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate you. Aries says, what about the blackmail situation has changed that she can talk about now, but couldn't tell the story before? It doesn't make sense. Well, I think she wanted to just separate herself from it, right? And now she's probably got a lot of trauma just from freaking existing in the same sphere as Jeremy, right? I think that's what it boils down to, you know. Random Umbrella says firm handshake, sweaty, weak wristed handshake. Oh, you already know, brother. He got those fat guy hands. Mick TVA. Sorry, Jeremy's the Jabba the Hutt. Ooh, te warbo cuck. Stogie says, so he had his subs pay to save the family business, and it was just drop ship. The man is a fraud. He should be hounded off YouTube. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. I mean, if you watch the June the King documentary, I mean, he's done like 30 crowdfund events for stuff like that, right? YOLO Swaggins. You need to advise her to screenshot all the combos before he deletes them. If you haven't done so already, thank you, YOLO Swaggins. Oh, she's got all of it handled. I'm sure. Thank you, YOLO Swaggins. DB, I'm sorry you felt that way. New Backstreet Boys. Hell yeah, brother. Thank you. I see you, John. I see you, Sauce. Thank you, buddy. Dante for a member. Thank you, buddy. Billy Hatcher. I'm going to move to the kicks next, by the way. Okay. Any news on the lawsuit? Legal Mindset did a video on it that I watched earlier. So it was pretty good. Billy Hatcher says, so now he's a gay flagger. We've come full circle. GLP. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. GLP. Val Malloy says, wonder what he has on Chrissy Mike. Okay, look, I think me and Jeremy was talking about this last night on D-Day Cobra. I'm sure she's going to be the co-host, because keep in mind, Jeremy announced today that Hannah Claire will know it's coming back probably before midterms, right? She'll be coming back before midterms, maybe. So that means she's gone, right? Come on. All right. Okay. Jared wasn't chicken blocking. He was clam damming. Cuck blocking. He was clam damming. Oh, all right, I got you, buddy. Big straight. Hey, thank you for the raid, buddy. The Content Cop King is here. How you doing, buddy? Thank you, man, for the raid. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Say something in chat, my man. Big Stick says Jeremy versus Kino might be the most annoying protagonist-antagonist combo ever. Had them both blocked before this all happened. Thank you, Big Stick. Dude, I've been enjoying it. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun, dude. Thank you so much, Mr. Raw Alerts. Cameron F305. What's up, buddy? I've been digging your content, man. Especially that Content Cop on Quartering. It was great, man. Great. Quartering deserves to be slammed to the ground. Mercilessly. Figuratively. On Minecraft, right? Raw Alerts. I hope Chrissy Mayer is happy with the decision to join Quartercast, because last night was bad. She fucked up. And honestly, if it wasn't for Brittany pushing the conversation, she wouldn't have been talked about public. Well, that's the issue with that whole situation, is like, she immediately said that she was bullied into doing it, which fucking destroyed everything, right, for Chrissy, because now no one believes you're being legitimate, regardless of if you're not. And then she just starts saying that she's getting bullied by Venti, and she's arguing with Venti, and she's specifically pulling up super chats, only shitting on Venti. And I'm like, man, God, no! Did you see my thing I tweeted where I was like, Chrissy, wake up. Chrissy, wake up. Thank you, buddy. Random Unbreaded Commenter says he was honest about it being his editor, aka him. Exactly. Thank you. Julie says we can't do math with our tiny girl brains. Thank you, Julie. I love you. I appreciate you. That's true. Eric Kai says the annoying orange has a whole new meaning now. Thank you, Eric Kai. Oh, by the way, shout out to Willie Will for $300. Wow. I don't deserve that shit, man. I appreciate you. I couldn't get Sydney to admit where the bull is. I don't deserve it. Refund. The bull tax. No. GLP, thank you, buddy, for your $5. Appreciate you, brother. Ambrose says it's been a month and Jeremy already has more diss tracks made about him than most rappers do in their entire career. Well, he deserves them. He deserves all the diss tracks for sure. Random Unbreaded Commenter says, wow, look how easy it is to read a text and send a link. Oh my God. We've stumbled upon greatness. Nathaniel Lunnington with the beautiful Nick photo, allegedly, in our opinion. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Daniel Robertson says, do you think Jeremy is a pathological liar? Oh, yeah. Oh, so me and Sydney talked about that. He's a compulsive liar, for sure. For sure. Robert Bashaw says, for Sydney, thank you for all you do. Check her out. I'm sure she's still watching. So thank you, Robert. I appreciate you. We really appreciate Sydney. I love you. Thank you so much. Carson Cameron Clark, what are the oranges for? Check this out. Thank you, buddy. Yellow Flash, expose the bull. I tried Flash. I couldn't get the bull. But next time we're getting the bull. It's like when we threw the lure in the water for the bull and we couldn't get him this time. We're gonna need a bigger cuck. Yeah. Thank you, Yellow Flash. Appreciate it. MK Ultra says, Sydney, is it true that you are mac and cheese? I should have read this one. Damn it. The true, I choose to believe. The Pooth is out there. The famous mac and cheese. Maverick Cuba says, Sydney, don't be afraid. You're in a safe space. Yes. Toasty with the mosty says, we love a self-aware queen. Thank you. Appreciate you. Maverick Cuba says, did he ever call you and ask about them oranges? Oh, I doubt it. Sydney she knows what the oranges are for, brother. GLP says, own it. People respect and support those who exhibit honesty and moral clarity. They do. Yeah. And, I think Sydney was really beating herself up about like talking shit about Jeremy. And I'm like, he deserves it. Fuck that guy. Talk shit about him again. Now, do it. You know what I'm saying? Who cares about that bastard? Like, what? He's a terrible person, right? And I think she agrees, right? Random Umbrella Commerce says, do you think Jer has mail under NDA? Well, she said she wasn't, so I can't imagine. I get the impression that Jeremy doesn't like to put a lot of work into anything. Therefore, he probably doesn't do any contracts or anything. He just shakes a hand, right? That's what I think he's like. Because, that's the lazy way, right? And then he can just screw you in the end anyway. That's what I think, Random Umbrella Commenter says, thank you. Thank you, buddy. Matt Cuba says, Jeremy and Elijah are peak conservative chats. Peak! Well, at least Elijah's like relatively in shape, though, right? At least there's that. Chiefino, Sydney, are amazing creator and by far and exponentially above TheQuartering and integrity value. I cannot ironically watch a Sydney video and be like, huh, okay, and watch it. I can't do that with Jeremy. I want to die. I want to die when I'm watching Jeremy. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this. I just need to rely on fucking Kino and watch the clip. I'll just watch their show. GLP says, FYI, NDA non-disparagement clause often state that you can't disclose their existence. Also, NDA likely for a loan-out company, which employs him plus co-host. Thank you, GLP. I appreciate you. I'll get some. I'll talk to her later and get some clarity for any of those kind of things. But I think she would say after this long period of time. Maverick Cuba says Jeremy tries to get that lazy money. Exactly. Hey, we're on the same page. PS2 Chopper 10 gifted memberships. Thank you, buddy. I love you, buddy. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Zombie Kid. Thank you, buddy, for your 5. Appreciate you, brother. Imperial Dragon says, big fan of Sydney and best wishes. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, Imperial. Justin, we'd love to see you do a live stream, Sydney. Hell yeah, Justin. She did a good job. She's like, I can't stream. I'm not a streamer. I'm like, you did great. All you got to do is talk. She talked. She did good. She's already better than Jeremy right out of the gate. Demon of Cybertron says, you guys are the first topic in the casino. Hey! Hell yeah. Base. Thank you. Appreciate you. John Smith, Sydney's doing an excellent job alive. She should consider doing more live streams. Also, is she planning to restart her tour for 2026? I do not know, but I will ask her. Thank you. I appreciate you. MLS says, does Sydney like Lego? Lego? Asking for a friend? Thank you, MLS. I appreciate you, brother. Keys. Respect Cam. You're really good at interviewing, and respect to Sid for not wanting to be drama. Well, look, I have questions on my own mind. And I know that people are always going to want more. So I'm always like, damn, I wish I would have asked this. Damn, I wish I would have asked this. So we'll just push a little bit harder on some of these things. But I think she was really, really honest. I mean, she was definitely very honest. I do wish she would have been like, fuck him, he's a piece of shit. I hope he dies. Put it on my soundboard. Hope she dies. Yeah, kill him. No, thank you. Thank you, kids. Appreciate you. Chai T says, so bearing interview win. This is a joke. Critters are still entitled on privacy, as well as not having their own livelihoods, right? I'm not going on like some interview tour. This just happened. So I appreciate you. Thank you, Chati. Raging Rhino. No. I'm sorry you feel hurt, dude. Thank you. No. Thank you, Rhino. But Haas says culture is ultra masculine roast coffee. Camelot. I've never implied I'm masculine. I'm just a dude, brother. Okay. TMF Squid says the internet's going to go wild with this. Everyone knows Sydney hates drama llama shows and has proven by not talking about Elijah until she was vindicated. And now quarter pounder, she's handling it with grace. Thank you, TMF Squid. I appreciate you. Chati says you're welcome for that Chrissy wake up video. Thank you. Oh yeah, God, it was so good. Michaela says she DTF. She got kids. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you. 587583922. CBC is white label. It's always to come from Mill Creek Coffee Roasters in Salt Lake, allegedly. Oh, and I think that was in the beginning, and then when they I think they restructured or something, and he changed, right? Because it was coming originally out of Phoenix or something, or Utah, and then into Phoenix. Luther Morgan's been covering the hell out of it. No one can seem to iron it out though, right? So thank you, 5. Hey, we made it to the end of those. Oh my God, can you believe that? All right, here we go. Let me go. Let's read the kickies. Charles' abandoned daughter says 1.5 hours to barely read a paragraph. This is terrible. Oh, I mean, I can't read. Does that make sense? 500. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Sneed Williams says, does Sydney generally believe Jeremy is a cuckold? Should have asked that, huh? She would have said she doesn't want to divulge in it, though, right? Because it's to do with his personal life. And I can respect that, although I would have loved to hear her say it. Thank you, Sneed. He also says, does Cindy believe that Jer has done the same creepy shit to or made HB or Mel fear for their careers? She said that. She alluded to that a little when I said, what advice would you give them? Because she's like, what I probably went through, they're probably going through a little bit of it as well. So I think she alluded to that a little bit. I had to go back and make sure. Sneed, thank you, buddy. Sooner Pet, 10 gifted subs. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that, man. 14 dead dogs. This behavior really makes you question the morals of anyone who has worked for Jeremy and continues to take his money. Great stream. Thank you. 500. Love you. 14 dead dogs with a gift. Thank you, buddy. Klein says, never knew of you before the drama, but putting your channel at risk to keep up the fight is based. Alpha. It's Chad even. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Old school Fitty. Old school Fitty. Thank you, buddy. Jelly King says, by God, Sydney Watson coming in and off the top rope. Hambly's broken in half. 1,000 kicks. Jesus, guys. This is insane. Freaking kick is crazy right now. Dragon Reborn says, Chrissy Mayer is so stupid that she doesn't even see Cuck Ring as going to destroy. Cucking is going to destroy and use her. That's true. He is. Yeah, I agree. I mean, look what he did to Sydney Watson. I mean, he robbed her of tens of thousands of dollars, right? You know, that's how I'm interpreting that. Use her, especially to get her with the porn actress friends. Yeah, Dragon, I appreciate you. And I don't want that to happen to Chrissy. Look, I understand we're all here for entertainment. And, you know, that's the point. That's the point. But I don't want to see anybody like freaking die. You know, I would like to see Chrissy not die from this. I don't think she will survive it, but like, you know, I think like people that know her in real life, we're like, oh, please do the right thing. That's what we want. Just do the right thing. But no one ever does that for some reason, you know, which I guess provides us with the entertainment, right? Shadow 5 get to subs. Shadow, I love you, man. And he subscribed himself. Thank you, buddy. Cuckold Ham Sandwich. Thank you, buddy, for a sub. Pre-Dawn Corpse with 12 kicks. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you, Jelly King. Low Temp. 404 Social. Agent Oranges, 4,000 kicks. Here's some support. Thank you, buddy. Bo Heapins, 5 gifted. Damn. Sooner Pet, 10 gifted. Platty Stein. Damn. Whiskey Gravy. Damn. Messmaker. This is insane. 500 kicks. You're black. All right, dude. Listen, calm down. DSP Noodle Arms with 1,000 says Jared just posted the reload. He posted the re-uploads were approved and the videos will be back up. God, he's dumb. Oh, these are a day ago. We've caught up. Awesome. Thank you. I've survived. Thank you guys so much. All right, cool. His channels was not at risk over all of this, and this is nothing. Gamer, what the hell are you talking about, bro? Are you trying to fisticuff me right now? Huh, brother? Where you at? Where the hell did you go? Listen here, motherfucker. All right. What the hell you want from me? All right. Do you want the attitude era and fucking Stone Cold coming out here? Because I'll call the motherfucker right now. Okay. Damn. All right. Oh, come on, Warski. Enjoy it. I reconsider renewing my sub to Chrissy's. Come on, brother. Obvious career move. Come on, brother. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Rumble Rants, Russell Hall, to be fair to the chat, no one could hammer out Jack Murphy harder than he hammered himself. Oh, Russell, will any of said DMs that are about to leak contain titty reveal material? No. Ruffalo, with how fat Jeremy is and how skinny his wife is, I'm reminded of the Family Guy Thanksgiving scene with John Goodman and how he's eating everything. I wonder if she cucks him and eats it. Yeah, dude. Yeah. You can have some when I'm done. There's never any left. Russell Hall, wait. Jeremy sent her pics of his tits. Yes, of course. Quagmire says, usually just a lurker, but you're gooning too hard to not pay you. You're gooning too hard. Hey, I appreciate you. Held the 199. Thank you, buddy. Entropy says, good for Sydney. Where she goes, drama follows. Who wants to be known for that? So when do you start working with her, Camelot? I don't think she wants to partner with anybody. It's easier to do things alone. Denier says, so far, Jared's called himself a progressive, a male feminist, conservative, MAGA, a general Christian, and even Catholic. He seems to be whatever the current zeitgeist is. You ain't lying. You called me a round boy. Thank you, Mr. Canadian. Appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys so much, man. So much fun tonight. We broke record viewership again. It's been awesome as hell. It was awesome as hell. Thank you. 12 Mayor says, read the direct message. The last message I read was the last message before, like, we started talking about other things, like kind of parallel but not super related, so they won't be really entertaining at all. That's right when she jumped on. So thanks, Sydney, for that. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Get the hell on it, doggone. He's a hillbilly. He can't read. That's true. IXV broom. No, get it away from me. Get the broom out of my hand. No, please. Oh, they're calling me Cody Mayer. No, fuck. Well, now I just got to become a Catholic, I guess. Shit. Fuck. Anyways. So I appreciate you guys. We gotta raid the Kino Casino so you guys can get their takes on it. All right. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Warskew, enjoy. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for coming back on my side. I love you, man. He saw me throw the broom down. He believes me. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. All right, boys. I appreciate you. Let's raid Kino Casino so we can you guys can jump into them. I know you guys want to watch them. So I appreciate you guys. Love you. We're going to be back. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, going hard as hell. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys. I'll go ahead and raid them over on Kick right now. All right. Give them some love. There you go, boys. Hell yeah. I don't know if it's working yet. I'm pretty sure it is. All right. Roast me all you like. Roast me. I love you. All right. Appreciate you pressed a bit. Yeah, but then people are going to say I didn't press enough, and I totally get it. But, I really wanted to hear her side of everything. All right. It just scared the hell out of me. Michaela, Adam, the top tub is roasted for you. Diabolical. Thank you, man. Cody, Chubby Bunny. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. All right. We're caught up on everything. I appreciate you guys. We make sure you guys do me a big favor and like the show. I appreciate you guys. The bod will be up and we can hang out. I'll be back tomorrow and get some more deets for you. And we'll talk about what's going on. And I was going to go over the Chrissy Mare thing, but unfortunately I didn't. That didn't happen, right? I mean, this was more important to me by a mile. So give everybody some love. We're going to raid Nicholas D'Andorio. Yeah, I think when he started at 5. I don't want him to be off. Hold on. Thank you, Night Call. Appreciate you. Yes, Tristan. Maybe make sure you're still live before I raid him. Oh, he's only been live. Oh, yeah, I'm going to. Oh, I think he's watching me right now. Or he's watching the Sydney thing. Anyways, we're going to rate him. Give him some love. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, Michaela. I appreciate you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Get the hell on it. Diggity dog on it. Hell yes. Hell yes, boys. Let's go. Like the stream. See you over there. Appreciate you.